promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna make a scene. Promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna make a scene.
Let's get it. Lily, no St. George, how are you?
Oh, that was a wonderful tribute to our boy Kev.
It really was. It really was. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Friday night on the block with Jen. Was it not the most insane week on the block? Was it not the most insane week? This has to be our craziest week ever. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, chat. I am Jen from On the Block with Jen. You can reach me on all social media platforms all across the globe. Okay, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is you guys use. Also on the block with Jen at Gmail if you want to contact me for some business. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Tonight is Cinco de Mayo. Okay, for those of us who don't speak Spanish. And for those of us that do, it is Cinco de Mayo. It is not Cinco de Mayo. Okay, it's not mayonnaise. It has nothing to do with mayo. All right. It is Cinco de Mayo or Cinco de Mayo if, you're just straight American and only speak English. So welcome, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Chat, hold me down. Tonight's going to be fun. Okay. Not only is it Cinco de Mayo, okay, but if you are a resident of the YouTube streets, you know that some people's godfather, Kevin Samuels, died on today. He died on Cinco de Mayo. So if you're from the YouTube streets, it's forever connected. Cinco de Mayo and the death of your godfather. Okay, are we gonna remember
and it was
him?
ironic. It was ironic that he died underneath the Mexican woman. So that's very appropriate.
Absolutely. It's the whole thing is so damn apropos. And very specifically, the Mexican woman, I actually used her to make the thumbnail. Quite a lovely piece of ass she is, this woman. Isn't she darling? And yes, underneath the Mexican hat there. Her name is Hortensia. Okay. Hortensia. That's a pretty piece of ass right there, if you ask me. It's not a bad way to go. Gentlemen, I think you'd agree if you gotta go, right? You want to keel over on a nice piece of ass, a young piece of ass at that. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta go, right? I mean, I can think of a lot of other ways that are 10 times worse to go, okay? We're all gonna go. You know, he went having a good old time, all right? He went coming, I don't know, or coming went, I don't know, whichever happened.
He was coming and going. He was just coming and going.
He was coming and going. So salute to the man who caused such a stir. I mean, this man started gender wars. He made it all the way up to like the BET Awards, people we lost this year. If you Google him, I actually like how they describe him. If you just do a regular Google, it says American Internet Personality. American Internet Personality. I thought that was interesting, right? There you go. Hey, look, some people go and they don't have any labels or titles. He is an American Internet Personality. What's up, Lene? How are you, darling? One of our winners of Block Talent Battle is in the chat. How are you, mama? Hold me down, chat. I see you, Walter. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Okay. Come on, DeMarco, the man who donated his music for the intro is here. How are you, darling?
I'm so sorry. My computer was just freezing through the whole ordeal.
Oh, it's okay. Not a problem at all. We good. And just for the record, for the people just coming in, please hit that like and subscribe. And if you missed the intro, let's get a couple seconds.
I'm here for it.
Love it. Ron, I think that's all you right there, right? Mm-hmm. That's all you playing right there, right? Mm-hmm. Very good, man. I thought Lee sounds like Carlos Santana.
Oh yeah, I'm really
Very,
good.
very Santana.
Very nice, right? And you can see the name scrolling on the ticker on the bottom. That is where you can find Haran DeMarco on Instagram at dangerous_DeMarco. It is scrolling on the bottom. Haran, would you like to say anything about it? And panel, do you have any questions for Haran? Haran is willing to get feedback on the music, long as you follow him on Instagram. At the very least, do that before you open your mouth to critique somebody. Support their channel.
Oh yeah, that's just me on guitar. Spanish and electric, and I can't necessarily play the drums, but I program drums, and that's pretty much it. Everything, you know, I mean, I create all the, did all the instrumentation, blah blah blah, so on.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been in, musician for like 18 years. So yeah, check me out whenever you can.
We got some awesome talent on this list.
We do. Very talented group of folks on the block.
Yeah, Kyrie, that's me playing.
Say again, because everybody's talking at the same time.
I said it has a little Santana sound to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as I was listening to it, incidentally, Haran, I play, but nothing to the level that you're at, okay?
Oh.
And I love nylon string guitars. I've got 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
I love the sound.
And a piano.
Yeah.
I see piano back there.
Yeah. What was
we were supposed to, Jenny and I were supposed to be sitting down and discussing her learning the nylon guitar.
Yes, we were. We were supposed to do like a little channel or something. Let's see what the future holds. Supposed to do a little channel of Haran teaching me via Zoom how to play guitar, because I always wanted to play a 6-string, because I'm very much into Bon Jovi. And he says, I got a 6-string on my back. I can't play for keeps because I might not make it back. So I want to have a 6-string on my back. Silly little bucket list shit. Silly little bucket list shit. But it's my bucket list. All right.
All that matters.
It's my bucket list.
I want to know how to play acoustic, but I can't get past the nails and the calluses part. Did we?
I don't mind the calluses. I don't do hand jobs. So I mean.
After a while, you won't
do
notice.
hand jobs.
It's a good thing about callus.
Yeah, I don't do hand jobs. So it's
Okay, I can cut the nails. That's no problem, because that's easy. But
and my nails are short. I have lesbian length nails anyway. So
those are fine. Those are fine.
There's lesbian length. All right. Speaking of lesbians and calluses and hand jobs, we have retired Freaky Friday. For anybody, sorry guys, we have retired Freaky Friday. On the Block with Jen is going a whole different direction, so we have retired Freaky Friday, but we gave you lots of juicy, good Freaky Fridays, and there is plenty left in the gallery. So if you're curious what Freaky Friday even was, just go back in my gallery every Friday. Sometimes we have special guests up here talking about doms and subs and BDSM and fucking and sucking and body parts and sex and positions and relationships, all kinds of things. We got plenty of Freaky Friday you guys can look back on. We're just retiring it in the present right now because we're going another direction. So I appreciate everyone who participated and opened up during Freaky Friday, because did we tell on ourselves on Freaky Friday? Did we tell on ourselves? Some of you know as much as my GYN right now, okay?
Right.
We told on ourselves on Freaky Friday, but
Some
we
things
learned.
I didn't have to know.
Right. But we learned from each other. And I think that, there's a little teeny tiny salt gram of next time we have sex, we'll probably be thinking about something that we learned on Freaky Friday. You got to admit that we learned some shit up here on the Freaky Fridays.
I definitely did.
My first Freaky Friday, I found out No Saint and I had a similar interest.
There you go. See?
Common ground.
Common ground. Yep.
Thank you, Walter. No, for real.
Hold on to that.
And POP Presents is another one of our musicians up here. It's a very, very talented channel we are.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So really quickly, can you believe that they're still talking about the would you date a bus driver? Can you
That's
believe that
crazy.
it's still on fire on social media? And the latest was Ebony Williams was on the Breakfast Club and DJ Envy, because that's how he says his name, DJ Envy. He was really digging into her about her wanting to date a bus driver. And, sometimes I watch debates and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there, because I'm like, I would have simply said, look, that wench wife of yours. Yeah, that's what I said. Cut it up, send it to the Breakfast Club. That wench wife of DJ Envy's would be in the same position as Ebony Williams. She would not date a bus driver. Everywhere you see DJ Envy's wife, she's sitting on her little perch in Versace from head to toe. Okay, the average bus driver is not going to put that bitch in Versace from head to toe as she sits on her little perch and talks about her fucking marriage. And I know his retort would be, yeah, but we met when we were in high school and I didn't have nothing. But they're levels, bitch. Ebony K. Williams is not a poor, broke girl from the hood in high school. She's an accomplished woman. She's a wealthy woman. So she doesn't have to date the bus driver. And there's nothing wrong with bus drivers. How many times do we have to say it? However, it doesn't mean that someone has to want to date one. That's my stance on it. So for DJ Envy to dig into her, I'm like, your wife wouldn't date the bus driver. What the fuck are you talking about?
And it's a couple of things. It's a couple of things with that, though. First of all, DJ Envy is a whole trans white woman in my head, because he is nothing but Karen.
So?
Like, he's a Karen. He's a trans Karen. Because I swear, I be listening to him sometimes, and I'm like, he's just so Karen. That's the
he's a little bitchy. He's a little bitchy.
Yes, he's so Karen. But this is the thing. For the gentlemen who are up in arms about this conversation, I have good news for you. Mm-hmm. For most of you all, this is not your tax bracket. This is not your game to even worry about. Okay? Ebony is in a different tax bracket than most of you gentlemen. Okay. And so we won't understand. A lot of people won't understand her dating pool. Okay. It looks different. It talks different. Okay. Yeah. The dates are different. Everything's different. Okay. And so things that a lot of people, and I'm talking about like statistically, okay, wouldn't understand. Okay. So let's just leave it alone, because they don't understand. And most people wouldn't. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. That's all I got to say.
I have something a little bit more to say.
Oh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I blame black women.
Oh.
Okay.
That's how we starting on a Friday night.
That's how we really starting on a Friday night. And I'll tell you why I blame black women.
Okay.
Black women teach their daughters to be ambitious and their sons to be, sons. So many a black woman who will sit there and she will contend that her mother was very hard on her, very distinct about her having her own, pushing her to be the best that she can be. With her son, we'll just see how it happens. We'll see how it shakes out. So he is conditioned in that area, in that realm. So what does a person like that do when they go out into the world? Well, they look for a surrogate mother who's going to repeat all those things, who's going to look the other way when he gets a C or a D, i.e. fired from his third job, when he's going to underperform, someone who's going to make, excuses for him, and so on and so forth. He is going to seek that kind of person. Hear me when I say this. If the best you could do is become a bus driver with all of your work, with all of your work ethic, all of your acumen, if that is the best that you could have done in life, then kudos to you. And I hope you have a lustrous career. I hope you do the best. But if you could have been a brain surgeon, nigga, fuck you. You squandered a natural ability. You squandered all these things. And if anyone tries to check you, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to ask for grace. You're going to ask to be coddled. Look, listen. If we're going to be serious about black men competing, if we're going to be serious about black men being out in the world and actually doing what they're supposed to be doing and rebuilding the community, then maybe we should start pressing our feet on their fucking necks a little bit more. Okay, yeah, the woman doesn't want a fucking bus driver. Okay, I think that's great. She has standards. You have standards, don't you? You talk about your standards all the time. You're talking about body counts. You're talking about weight. You're talking about, you know what I mean, fit, feminine, and friendly, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean, that you talk about. You have standards. You have things you won't accept under any circumstances. She has things she won't accept under any circumstances. And I think that that's fine. But again, you don't have to worry about that because you're just the bus driver. Another thing with a lot of these women who are jumping to her, jumping against her and basically throwing knives at her. Yeah, but a lot of the bus drivers that you date, if they could have been more than bus drivers, they most likely wouldn't have dated you.
Ouch.
So there's a lot of reality here under all that shit that nobody really wants to talk about. And at the end of the day, it's not really your problem because, again, with the women don't got to worry about her perspective because you ain't got her options, and she doesn't want yours.
So let me ask a question, because to me this is really simple, but I'm wondering if this is a man thing, and I got men on the panel, so you guys got, I can get it direct from the horse's mouth. But do you think it's a thing where I wouldn't even say it's entitlement, but I think men have the tendency, you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not gonna, but I think men have the tendency to live vicariously through a life that they don't live or exist. I'll give you an example. Sports, for instance. When you watch a man watch sports, he yells at the football players and the basketball players with this passion and this bravado, as if he could do better. Like, I've seen men, and you know how hard it is to get into the NFL and the NBA. It's hella hard, right? It's this much. But when you watch men, I mean, they're yelling, "Get in there! What the fuck was that? What the fuck are you doing? I would have did that shit with the fucking pass the fucking ball." I mean, you know what I mean? At just the height, you would think they were the coach or they played. Now, I completely understand if you play, because you understand the dynamics of what's going on the court. You know what's at stake. You know the moves. I totally get it. But these are just guys sitting around after their 9 to 5, getting their rocks off, right? Beating off to these guys that they will never be. So similarly, if you notice, when a wealthy man is getting divorced, we see the same type of passion that guys use with sports. Fuck that bitch. She wasn't with you shooting in the gym. Fuck, don't give her no fucking money. Fuck that hoe. But, it's the same type of passion, though it's not his money. So let me connect it to I wouldn't date a bus driver. We'll just call them bus drivers for now, because it could be any job. It could be any blue collar job that doesn't make a man wealthy. Any job, whatever. These men are angry at this woman, and nobody say that they're not angry, because I've read the comments for the past 3 fucking days. Those men are angry. It was anger. It was vitriol. It was hate. Okay? For women who think this woman now symbolizes those raggedy bitches who expect more from my bus driving ass, right? And I say bus driver, just, you could cover all the blue collar shit under there, right? So they're like living through, you know what I mean? And I'm like, honey, but that's not your game. You cannot be an NBA player. You cannot be a NFL player. You cannot be the guy that's in her dating pool, and that's okay. But for some reason, men cannot accept that is okay. And I'll wrap with this and then pass the mic. It's very simple for me. Very, very simple. No man walks into a Bugatti dealership and pays with his potential. No man. Nobody, no man is going to walk into Rolls Royce and say, I got hella potential. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. Give me the blue one. No man does that. A man knows his limits up until it comes to women. A man knows his fucking limits. A man could walk in a room and say, I can't take that guy. I could try. Maybe if I get 3 or 4 beers in me, I could try. But I can't take that guy. Not without the beer muscles, right? Men are constantly assessing situations. They great with directions. They have muscle memory. They're really great. Men are really great specimens. I love you guys to fucking death. I envy your penises and your upper body strength that usually goes to waste half the time. But I love men. I genuinely love men. I even love how fucking simple you are. I love that we have to fix shit. I love that you need us for every little. I fucking genuinely am a lover of men. I adore you guys. Okay. However, you know your limitations everywhere. I can't park there because by sight, you can look at 2 cars and be like, my car don't fit in there. Me, I'd be like, bam, 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 you know what I mean? Banging up everybody's fucking bumper. But men know these things. But when it comes to women, you guys self-lobotomize. You self-lobotomize. You look at someone like Ebony Williams and say, she need to want me as I drive my bus. That's the only time that you guys go like full retard. Full retard, where you could look at Ebony K. Williams and feel entitled to date this woman, yet you assess everything else and know where you don't belong. You don't walk in a Bentley and ask for a car. You don't park where you're not supposed to park. You don't take on the big guy because you don't want to get your ass beat. You guys are really good, but for some reason, you think that women are supposed to be long-suffering for you. And it's bizarre. It's weird. It's weird.
Can I ask you a quick question before I even say anything?
Sure.
Chat, can someone confirm if I downplayed bus drivers?
I was waiting.
Did I
was gonna
downplay
ask
bus
you.
drivers?
No
Did I downplay a bus driver?
Drivers.
This is how you motherfuckers get fucked up in the conversation. This is how you get fucked up. Because you don't listen. You get in your feelings. You climb in the motherfuckers like a DeLorean. And you just climb in that bitch, man. And you don't hear anything. No one said anything about fuck a bus driver, man. No one. I promise you.
And
You said
again,
there's levels to this shit.
I'm starting to see, because Sarah said something and I'm like, yes. Sir Captain Chaos said, damn, Jen. Oh, this is the block, baby. We tell it how it is over here, all of us.
Absolutely.
He said, next thing you're going to look down on sanitation workers. He's trolling. He or she. I don't know if it's he or she.
They have to be trolling because no one has said that, but that's what everyone keeps hearing, which says to me that there's trauma attached. It's trauma attached to that because you keep hearing it that way, which is saying way more about you than the person that said it. Because
you know what? Pause a minute though. Is it really trauma or complacency in this case? I'm talking about just this case.
A little bit of both.
Is it trauma or jealousy, envy, and complacency? You're the kid that doesn't get picked because you don't run fast like the other guys. Is that trauma, or you just can't run as fast as the other guys?
It could be that.
Sarah C., I'm seeing this a lot. And I think this is why a couple of them clowns online have started the division between Caribbean people, African people, and the FBA, the Black people. Because I see this a lot. Okay. Sarah C. says, this is definitely a Black American issue. Nigerians don't promote mediocrity in their sons. And then Haran is Jamaican. He says the same of his father. I'm Puerto Rican. My father was the same way. My father was that bus driver, I mean, you guys know about my dad. He managed a fucking movie theater on the weekend. He worked for PPG Glass Company during the week. Okay. And everything in between. Then he owned a fucking parking lot. He bought the parking lot across the street from my mother's home. Okay. He bought that shit. Then he bought a 10 apartment unit building in the Bronx. Then he bought one in Harlem. Then he bought another one uptown. This is a man who barely spoke English, came from Puerto Rico, barely spoke English, had a very, very heavy accent. Okay. He was that blue collar guy. And then he said, I'm not going to stay the fucking blue collar guy. I'm not going to do it. Right. So I do see a culture. I very much do see a cultural difference between just straight Black American and people that come from other places to this country. Sorry, y'all can get mad.
I'm
Y'all
going to
can
put
get
myself
mad,
in the frame.
but you're not going to take away what I've seen with thine eyes. Go ahead,
I'm not going to let Jen throw herself in the fray like that alone. Because y'all love when anytime she talk about her daddy, y'all love her. Just start get passive aggressive and all that. So I'll tell you about my family. I'll tell you about my mother and my dad. My dad was a bus driver, not a bus driver. He was a cab driver. Okay. Now, if you know anything about the 70s and 80s in New York, if you were a cab driver, you ain't make shit. You know what I mean? You don't make shit now. You really didn't make shit then. He ended up basically being a accountant at Price Waterhouse eventually.
I worked at Price Waterhouse. Go ahead.
For a Black man to be an accountant at Price Waterhouse was a big thing. I will tell you another story. My mother and I, when my parents split, shit was fucked up. My mother could only do domestic work at the moment in time, so my mother became a mammy. Yep, for a Jewish family. I was the son of a mammy. Right now, my mother has her own home. She's a Columbia graduate, high honors. She spent 20 years, over 10 years being a psychology professor, being a psychotherapist. She was a social worker, yada, yada, so on and so forth. When I got out of college, I say this story a few times. When I got out of college, the economy was fucked. The only thing that I could, get at the time, I became a security guard. While doing that, I taught myself how to code by hand, literally on paper. After that, I saved up enough money to build my own computer. The rest is history. Next week, I'm probably going to be, if all goes well, I'll probably be the director or one of the directors in a advertising agency. You don't have to stay in the same place. But if you want to, that's your business. But don't shame other motherfuckers who don't.
That's it. That's all.
That is the point.
All people were
saying. Don't shame this woman. Don't shame this woman, because if she doesn't want to, deal with people who would rather stay in that space, that's her business. Because there really are people who don't want to stay in that space, and they can find each other, and they can go off and they can figure shit out, and they can have a horrible, terrible life as married people, like most normal human beings do. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, the Clue Channel. How are you, Dab Circle? How are you, darling? It's funny how the tables have turned, right? Remember, people used to say pretty privilege, white privilege, right? It was privilege. And you notice that now, let's just, for the lack of a better term and me sounding like a complete asshole, let's talk about the haves and the have-nots, right? Follow me. So it seems that now the tables have turned, right? So now there's what I would say, Black privilege, which is, and people are like, what the fuck is that? Wait a minute. What's Black privilege? We have nothing. We have nothing in this country. No, you do. You can get people, you can get people fired if you accuse a Latin person or a white person of being racist. I mean, the shit doesn't even have to be real. It could be imagined, and they will still call that white person into the office. They will still call that. Did you say the N-word? Are you discriminating because of her hair? You know what I mean? There's privilege in that, right? Also now we see obese people who are like, you can't talk about me. You can't. You're shaming. No, I just don't like fat people, and it's my fucking right. not to want to date somebody fat, right? So it's like the tables have turned, the pendulum has swung all the way to the other side and broken off. But you notice, right? You notice, and I say this all the time, it's not about that you feel bad. It's similar to what Haran said. You don't have a problem with oppression. You got a problem with being oppressed, right? So now that the shoe is on, now that the shoe is on the other foot, look at how you're wielding it like a weapon. You are wielding it like a weapon. And I will say this, pretty privilege was just me like getting more ketchup. Or getting a police officer, not, you know what I mean, to give me a ticket. Right? That's how I use my privilege. I never used my quote unquote pretty privilege to hurt anybody. But I'm sorry. But if it gets me to the fucking front of the line, hi, are you the bouncer? You fucking right. I'm going to do it. Right? What, George?
You know I am so shocked that you would attempt such a thing.
Right, such a horrible thing. So my thing is that now that the shoe is on the other foot, I am redlining the line, Lily. I promise you I will. I hate lines. So now that the shoe is on the other foot, it's being weaponized way beyond the shit they used to complain about. Like, okay, there were too many skinny women on the covers of magazines. I'm a size 16. I feel bad. Okay, we're going to put size 16 on the cover. Look, you're on the cover. They're not enough. They're not enough. And you better like me on the cover or else you're going to be shaming. Meanwhile, they've been telling me eat a burger my entire life.
Right. My
entire life. And I never once called it skinny shaming. So it's interesting how the tables have turned, but they're very vitriolic with these new privileges that they're gaining. These people, the obese people, that they're very vitriolic with it, right? Like, I'm gonna make you pay because I'm obese. I'm gonna make it's very interesting to observe. But I noticed that they're just mad at her and they want her to pay because they don't eat the rich. Like they don't like that they're, you know what I mean, not in her tax bracket, not in her dating pool. And, you know, even quote unquote attractive people, this is going to sound crazy. And I'm going to pass the mic after this. This is going to sound insane. You're going to be like, no fucking way. Even attractive people, there are people out there that be like, I don't fucking like her. I don't like what she looks like. That's not my type. I don't give a fuck how pretty she is. I don't see it. That's not my type. I don't like her. And you know what we got to do? Oh, well, I got options. Fuck off. See you later. We don't make it a thing. We don't, oh my God, you don't like me? You're shaming me. You're shaming my little six. There are guys that are like, I don't like girls with six packs. You have one? I don't like six packs. I want a softer. Right. I like a fupa. I saw the other day. These guys had a whole, I like fupa. I don't have a fupa. So that means I'm out.
Right. What's wrong with that?
So this is interesting. And I'll pass the mic. No, Saint, I know you wanted to say something and you don't write notes. So.
No, I was thinking that it's pretty natural what you're talking about, like using your looks to get out of tickets. I mean, I every time I got pulled over, I'd make sure they saw that I was a firefighter to get out of tickets. So right. You know, you do what you can. I mean, nobody wants to get a ticket, right? Another thing I thought was funny when you were talking about the sports. The fans of the sports yelling and telling them what to do. I want to show you. Now, Haran might know this guy. He's Brian Scalabrini. So he played like 11 years in the NBA. He was a role player. Called him the White Mamba, right? Well, he's got a channel because people tell him how much he sucks, and he'll take the challenge and he'll play him. And his thing is, I'm closer to LeBron James than you are to me.
Exactly. That's what people don't understand.
Oh shit!
That's what
funny.
People don't understand. Like, you know how
that's funny.
You know how much you have to suck at playing. Like, no, excuse me. Do you understand how good you have to be at playing ball in order to be on the bench?
Right.
In order to be on the bench, not even the starting five. Yeah, exactly. Not even the starting five. Not next to LeBron. Not rubbing elbows with Kobe. No, to be on the bench, the guy behind the guy on the bench will mop the floor mop the floor with the average human being.
And he does, obviously, even at 45. And then he explains that when you're playing in the NBA, see, I don't realize it. When you're playing in the NBA, he's actually looking at movements before the guy gets there. That's how fast these players are. You got to know which direction they're going by indications on the body. Like, that's how he played so long in the NBA, you know? So, yeah, it is funny, though.
And, you know, it's another funny thing, too. It's like, especially people who never saw Mike in his prime, they're like talking shit about him and things of that nature. And I'm just like, you really don't get it, do you? He can still put you in the hospital right now. He just can't fight on an elite level. That's like me and Mike Tyson, me right now getting into an argument with Mike Tyson. In the back of, you know, on the surface, I'm gonna stand my ground, I'm gonna stand my square. But behind me, the other headline gonna be like, oh my God, we gonna get in the fight with Mike Tyson. This shit ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, so that goes back to what I said, that men know how to assess a situation.
Yeah,
They know how to assess a situation.
Exactly.
But when it comes to women, it's like you got tits, you're supposed to love on me no matter what. That's what comes with the person that has the tits. You're supposed to love on me no matter what. Right? Then that strange thing happens, and it's because the way we're reared, and women are really reared to like just suffer and feed the baby and suffer for the man, and it's an interesting dynamic. But you know, it's a lot of envy. It's common sense to me. Not all of us qualify for everything. That's life. But I think that now that, since it's the revenge of the have-nots, they don't understand that you can't have everything. Like, didn't our mothers tell us that? Well, life isn't fair, baby.
I'm sorry.
But this generation,
Somebody said no Saint look like MC Search, and I'll be damned.
Yeah.
he do.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He's giving third base realness.
Definitely does. Well, fuck it. That's who I'm gonna say was up here. I don't give
The chat be crazy, man. The chat be crazy.
Yes, they do. They are one of the best parts of the show. They are too many things.
Oh my God.
So, George, we haven't heard from you. What do you think about this before we move on?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, Jen, I want to score some points with you.
Uh-oh.
Beautiful hair tonight. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just got it done. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I watched the show last night, and I'll get to that in just a second. But
Okay.
to answer your question, you know, yeah, you're probably right. We try to live vicariously through, you know, the sports team or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Haran really hit the nail on the head when he was talking about it's really kind of there's problems on both sides. But I think somewhere along the line in this country, we have given men the permission to not lead. And I'm going to say this. I think by nature, it is their job to be leaders. They are meant to be leaders. And so women, when in that role, you know, they're doing that properly. Jen, you've said it yourself. You're fine with, you know, kind of taking a step back and letting him lead. So, and you cite your dad all the time about the example he set.
Mm-hmm.
So and concerning the woman, Ebony, that's her name.
Ebony.
When I heard her first say that, what kind of came across to me was like, at first, I don't know if she's a little tone deaf or maybe not self-aware enough.
Mm-hmm.
Some people who are that smart and who are that successful are that way. They're not self-aware. They don't realize how they're coming across to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there, I was like, kind of a little bit of arrogance there, but I was like, all right. But then I thought to myself, now what would I tell my daughter? What would I tell my daughter? I would tell my daughter to do exactly what Ebony did. You go.
Ooh, that was deep.
You can go.
Yep.
You go as far as you can go. Push it to the limit. And here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I told y'all before a long time ago, I lost like 130 pounds. That'll wait all my life. Okay. But anyway.
No, go ahead. They were laughing at the drinks. They were throwing
drinks. Not you.
They throwing the drinks
laughing
up.
at them drinks up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Anyway, they tried something. After I lost all that weight, I was like, man, now that I got my weight off, and I'm going to go after these hot-looking women. I'm now finally qualified to do that. Well, my friends try to set me up on a blind date. And you know what? It was some woman who was as big around as she was tall.
Oh.
And I said, no. And I told them this. I said, I did not do all this work to lose weight to go date a fat woman.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
I ain't mad at that.
Applaud that man. Applaud that man. Applaud that man. Applaud that man.
I think he meant it. I think they meant you.
No, he meant it just like he said it, sir. He said it. He meant it just like he said it. No more fat broads. No more fat broads. No more fat broads.
But I'm gonna say this, George, and what you're saying, that's exactly the thought process that I was thinking, right? For instance, if she was at home collecting welfare and she was with Pookie and they was just chilling or whatever, cool, right? They're on the same level, but then she decides, you know what? I want to do something with my life. Let me go back to school and get me a little nursing degree or something, right? She goes, she gets her nursing degree. Now they're not as equally yoked. It's going to look different, right? He's going to feel away. She's going to feel away. The dating, her options in her dating pool has changed. Now she decides to go back, and now she wants to become a doctor, right? Now her options in her dating pool has changed again. And this is the same thing with Ebony. She's done all of this work. So why would anyone expect her not to have her own standards based off of the work that she's done on herself? She's provided this life for herself. So, but this is the part that I saw people arguing. People who didn't have necessarily a problem with what she said. They try to use the semantics. It was like, well, it was her body language. It was her tone in which she said it. I said, but still, was it true? Was it true? Whether she said it with her mouth open, with her eyes closed, in the lotus position, it was still going to be true whether she said it. Like, it's still going to be true for her. So why are people upset? This is her truth, her standards. There's no discussion.
But that's because we're now in an environment where how dare you have the audacity to have an opinion, a preference, a standard, right? And let's say what I saw when you do that amount of work, and I'm gonna bring gender into this. When you do that, the amount of work that she did, add to that, whether she's beautiful or not, she's still a Black woman in America. Okay. Beautiful woman, but she's still a Black woman in America. So she had to overcome a lot. I mean, you know, if everybody could be an attorney and it was easy, we'd all be attorneys. Yay, right? So she put a lot of work in. So that comes with armor. That comes with a certain bravado. That comes with, I know my shit, right? It's just as sexy as like when we see Kobe on the court. Had the biggest heart ever, but they hated his what? His arrogance. Yet Kobe, even, I forgot what basketball player said it. He used to get up early in the morning and be like, yeah, I want to be the first one practicing. And he said when he got there, he would see Kobe coming out sweating. And he was like, what the fuck? I thought I was going to be the first one here. And Kobe would be like, oh, you just getting here? Right? So you earn that. Right? Yeah. So is it really their arrogance or your intimidation that you're not as great? Because that's something people don't like talking about. Seeing people that are great bothers a lot of people.
But there's an irony.
We're ignoring that. That shit bothers people because it's like, I want that body. Well, I fucking worked for it, bitch. I work for it.
But there's an irony.
People like to talk about motivation, right? I was thinking about this on the way to the gym today. You know what I was doing before the fucking gym? I kid you not. Please, everybody listen to me. I was underneath like 3 fucking blankets. I was fucking tired. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going. I'm going to call my trainer. I'm going to say I'm not fucking doing it today. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I didn't even eat breakfast early enough. I'm not fucking going. Fuck it. I don't care. This working out shit is too fucking hard. Whatever I look like, and someone's going to love me eventually somewhere. I had 30 people in my head talking me out of the fucking gym. Okay. So I know you guys see the little reels I post and the pictures. Like, I get it, Jen. You don't know the fucking mental fortitude. You don't know what it takes for me to pick my ass up out of the fucking bed and get to the gym and give it my fucking all and give it my best. So when I see a bitch throwing hate at me, okay, because I look the way I look, I become super arrogant because it is mental work and it is physical work, right? I can have the heart of gold, but the bitch don't care because I have a 6-pack. She doesn't give a fuck that I have a heart of gold. Same thing with Kobe. Kobe had a heart of gold. Nobody gave a fuck because he's arrogant on the court. So is it our arrogance or is it that you feel insecure when I walk in the room? Because there's a difference. There's a difference. But as far as arrogance, I fucking earn this shit because it is not fucking easy to do. It is not easy to do.
Arrogance has never bothered me as long as it's true. As long as what you're spitting is true.
But men do it all the time. And I'm talking about in any career. I don't care what you do I don't care if you're the guy that trims the palm trees the best in the palm tree trimming company. If you're the guy that has seniority with the palm trees and you know how, and you could do it with your eyes closed, you're going to have a fucking arrogance around the guys that don't do it because you put in more work. It doesn't matter if you're a bus driver, the guy that trims the trees or the bushes, or you're a basketball player, or you're a military man. Military men have that thing. Have you ever seen a lieutenant? A police department lieutenant? He has that thing. He's earned it. So is it arrogance or do those people make you feel insecure? Does Ebony Williams make not only men feel insecure because she's making more money than them, but does she also make women insecure insecure because she is educated, well-spoken, and fucking attractive? That's a triple. It's like, ugh.
It is. It is.
It's a number of things, and here's the irony behind it. A lot of what people call arrogance. Mm-hmm. No, a lot of times that's just self-belief. Maybe you just don't believe in yourself that much. Maybe you're just as great. Maybe you're even greater, but maybe you just don't believe that.
Right.
And that's why where you are. That's number one. Number two, if you want anything in this world, anything in this life worth having, you have to have a degree of intense, unshakable, unbreakable self-belief. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think Ali would have just jumped into the ring and be like, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to be here, yada, yada. Come on, man. You have to believe insanely that you are unbeatable, untouchable, unshakable. There have been moments in my life, the only reason why I survived it is because I literally believe the only thing that's putting me on my back is death. Ain't nobody, bad enough out there to stop it. Nothing. And that is the only reason why I was able to go from here to here. A lot of people think I'm too much. I'm too negative. No, I'm not any of those motherfucking things, motherfucker. I'm here to win. Mm-hmm. If I'm not here to win, why am I showing up, man?
Yeah.
I'm not here to show up. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Haran, speaking to what you're talking about, this is another thing about men losing their leadership. I used to say this, I worked in a hospital, and 80% of the population was women, as you can probably imagine. I used to say it's 80%, it's actually 95% women. It's 80% women, and 15% of the men are women, and then there's actual 5% of real men.
Wow.
I hated to say that. And here's how it works out. to Haran's point, I feel you, man. I totally get it. I have been checked so many times about being assertive about what I know, and people will call it out and saying, you're being an asshole, you're being arrogant, you're being this. You need to dial it down. And maybe I needed to a little bit. But I came up with this saying, and I said, as light exposes darkness, strength exposes weakness, confidence exposes insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And those three, what y'all are talking about, that's it. And so I think that we can go off in the politically correct stuff and all that. But
I will ask.
But
I
that's
don't
want to
want to
ask
be
one
politically
question.
correct right now. I have a
I want to
question.
ask one question. I just ask one question real quick. For all of y'all who at one point in time, if you were, and in the chat, if you were ever called arrogant on your stance of certain things and you were sure about your shit, let me ask you one question. Who did they call when the shit hit the fan?
That's a fact.
Who did they call at 3 a.m. when they needed it to get done? No questions asked, and they needed 99.9% shooting accuracy. Who did they fucking call?
I still remember some of the midnight calls. I still remember what happened, what the incident was.
Did they call Jimmy the one who said who they told you, don't be too hard on him, he's trying his best? Did they call that guy to give him a shot to prove himself?
Give him a shot.
They said this is an emergency, go get the fucking SWAT team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody has their place. Everybody has their place, man. Everybody has their place.
Yeah.
I have a question based off of something that Jen said. So Jen, you stated that
that's what I should have named my show. Jen said.
Right. All right. That'll be the spinoff. That's the spinoff. That's the next one. You stated, which is all true, Ebony is beautiful, successful, well-spoken, all of those great things. As a Black woman trying to date out here and date in her own race, do you feel like that could be the kiss of death in her dating issues? All of those things that you named are working against her?
That's a good question. Probably.
Because I feel like it is. I feel like it
probably. But you can elaborate. I mean, I have my little. You can elaborate.
I think she pretty much said it as the more I'm thinking about it, in a roundabout way. Because she said she dated outside of her race because of the percentages. The higher up she goes in the income bracket, there's less Black men to choose from, right? In the whole country.
That truth hurts.
So that's why she had to date outside of her race when she really didn't want to. She would rather be with a brother just because cultural things. You don't have to explain what a kitchen is, things like that. Right.
Well, MC Search would know what it is, right?
Well, yeah. He been on the block though. He ain't been hanging on the block. So, I feel like for her that all of those things are working against her, and that is definitely where the vitriol is coming from. Like the vitriol that's online is just indicative about like what's in people's psyche in society.
But the dynamic is also interesting because Black men are very, very vocal about not wanting Black women for a myriad of reasons. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're this and they're that, and they're complex. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. The moment a woman says, she didn't even say race. She was just like, does the bus driver own the bus? Can I get someone who's on my level is basically what she's saying. Does the bus driver own the bus? But it's interesting that it's like you can't even have a standard or a preference. It's a sin. How dare you have a standard and a preference? And I want to segue really quickly to Iyanla Vanzant because I think she's full of shit. Okay.
Why is she full of
shit? You came for the witch doctor? You don't came for the voodoo priest.
And here's why I think she's full of shit. Because I really do believe what a lot of women are saying when they said she wouldn't have asked that of a white woman. I believe that.
Oh.
Now of course it's like, well, you don't know because Ebony's not white. I just believe it's just a belief. Like people believe in Jesus. I believe I believe that had it been a white woman, Ayanna would have went, well, would you date a bus driver? Right?
Well,
How often did you hear
Because
that? No,
I think
but
there's a
how often did
reason
you
for
hear
that.
How
Okay.
often do you hear that post to a white woman?
So what's the reason, Curry, before I continue, because I'm curious.
I was going to say the reason is in today's environment, you just don't see that conversation going on social media with white women. You don't see that as a debate.
And why do you think so?
That's just the different cultures, I think.
And why would that be different in the culture?
I don't know white culture.
and there we are. So essentially what we're getting at is that a white woman wouldn't be asked for such a thing because it is assumed that white women pretty much have access to anything that they want access to. See, you can ask these white gentlemen right here. They railroaded the white man into giving them fucking rights and giving them votes, and the country's been fucked up ever since. So, you know what I mean? You know, feminism and shit like that and all that. You know,
but white women do have a better pick of the litter, do they not?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
If they want to stay with their race, they really have a better pick of the litter than black women who want to stay with their race.
Yes,
they have a better pick of the litter. So of course she wouldn't ask that. But this is why I say Ayanna was full of shit, and I don't dislike her in her entirety, but I think that she's full of shit. And I disagree. And she's riding this wave, boy. She keeps dropping videos about the would you date a bus driver. She's riding the wave. So let's not pretend.
Doing what Kevin Samuels did.
Exactly.
The reboot. Exactly. She got the reboot.
She figured out what people are following, and that's what she's gonna talk about.
Okay, so with that said, she is a businesswoman. Once I start seeing you as a businesswoman, you are not the witch doctor matriarch that you're gonna fucking pretend to me to be. Sorry, you are a businesswoman. We're everyone's being salacious. Everyone has them hot captions, including you, Mama Iyanla. Okay, but here's where I say she's full of shit. She has not one, not two, but 3 failed marriages. 3. Tristan sent me a video earlier where she claimed when her husband broke her jaw and she stuck it out with him. Okay. Now Ayanla, and you guys can get mad.
The first marriage.
Okay, you can get mad, but Ayanla is not a mainstream attractive woman. She's overweight. Her mouth protrudes. She has a receding hairline. She walks bent over, and it's not age because there are women older than her that look good. So I'm not being an ageist. It is not age. There are people older than her that look good. Okay. And I bring up her appearance to say that her world and her dating pool is night and day from Ebony's world and dating pool. And I'm sorry, I have an issue with someone asking someone with no feet where they got their shoes. Okay. If that person has no feet, are you going to go ask them, hey, where you got your shoes? So Ebony asking Ayanla for advice, in my opinion, just like I wouldn't have a fat personal trainer. In my opinion, you have 3 failed marriages, man. You stuck it out with a guy that broke your jaw. You failed 3 times at trying to keep a man. Right now, you are single. Why am I talking to you about relationships? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me who I would date? Why? We're from 2 different worlds entirely. But I think there's this thing. Wait, and I'll wrap with this. I think there's this thing when it's an older woman, but specifically an older Black woman, they automatically get the pass for the all-knowing, the alpha and omega. Right? Because Black women run the community.
Bro, I want to say this because that was the point that I meant to bring up on the first episode that we talked about it. Because that's one of my annoyances. People who because I love Ayanla, but this is starting to make me look like, oh, okay, I get what you're doing. You got to hustle. We love a hustle. Boom. But this is the issue that I have with any type of guru or whatever. If you're not in a healthy relationship, like a long-term healthy relationship, I think that's one topic you should stay away from. Like, hey, I don't do that. I'll do these things because I have evidence and I have experience of doing this correctly. But with this, I don't have the evidence to even say, hey, I've done it. This is my experience. And I'm just giving you my personal experience. You can do whatever you want with it. And when a person doesn't have that, I think that, because I know that's what I do with anyone I mentor. If I do not have the experience and the evidence behind it, I'm not touching that. So that was the first thing I actually noticed when they started to go into. I was like, well, why are they talking? I thought they was going to talk about something else, but then the whole interview was pretty much on relationships and femininity and things like that. And I was like,
that's what it was. That was the topic. I just, you know, I don't think that everybody, and I learned this at a young age. I don't think just because you're 2 decades older than me, you're wiser. I just don't. I mean, you've experienced more. You've experienced more, and you've been on the planet more. But you could be a fuck up all the way to death. We know plenty of them in the hood. You just get older. You don't get wiser. You just get older. I could go to the Bronx right now. There'd be that old bitch still talking shit on the corner, and there'd be that old dude still, you know what I mean, wearing a dude rag and a fitted, and he's 70-something years old. Right? Talking about his glory days when he got locked up way back when for whatever. So some people just get older. They don't get wiser. But I just thought that was a little grimy on her part. And I don't care who it upsets. I'm like, I like my professionals to actually have experience and be a professional in that lane. Some people may be like, well, you don't have to be married to advise people on marriage. Well, you don't have to be fit to be a personal trainer. That's great. You go spend your money on that. I like evidence and I like tangibles.
Well, I don't think you have to be married to give good advice, but I think you have to have been married. And I think somebody that's been married and divorced a couple of times then made a whole lot of mistakes that I could learn from. You know, I think that people don't necessarily have to be successful for you to be able to learn from their mistakes. People can give you great advice and not be able to follow their own advice. You know, I know, because I know I'm like that. I could be like that sometimes. I can give people great advice on relationships, but I don't follow it myself. I can tell my homeboy how to stay away from a toxic woman, but then I get a toxic woman in my life and I don't get away from her so easily.
Let the pussy be cold.
So I could give good advice, but I don't necessarily take my own advice. That doesn't mean the advice I'm giving isn't good. And that's what I think for a lot of people. So I think that homeless person on the corner that you think is crazy, that just told you some crazy shit, but you was like, you know what? There was a piece in there that made sense. He didn't.
But I ain't giving him my money for no advice.
Oh, I ain't giving him my money for advice.
I might give him some money
just I give him some money just cause. Right. Not
well, I can
$5 for some advice.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, Creative Mind. She says, paz a los dioses y diosas, peace to the gods and the goddesses. Thank you so much, Creative Mind, for that generous super chat, mama. I will say this, right? If I understand what you're saying, and it's really cute, right? It's cute that we could take advice from like the neighborhood crackhead, like, yo, that crackhead's mad smart. And you're right though, because the crackheads, we've met crackheads that be like, yo, that crackhead mad smart. He told me how to, you know what I mean? But however, if you want to go to the next level in life, you know what I mean?
And you want to you're not gonna.
Right. If you want to get past Jimmy and a lock, you're gonna, you know what I mean? There are levels.
Now, I'm not saying go to those people for advice. I'm just saying advice you get is not necessarily the worst advice. In the world.
You ain't got crackheads in your phone?
Nah. I live in a good neighborhood out here.
Okay.
Wait.
Here we go.
I gotta ask. Gated community?
Nah, not gated.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All good.
Actually, well, there's a gate around it.
Oh God!
But the front, there's no front gate that closed. There's no front
gate. Yeah. It has to
there's
be.
No security. There's no security, right?
You don't put it in the
There's no security, right? Okay.
I never knew the question that I asked would become a staple on this show. You know, it's like, do you live in a gated community?
Because people made sure to let us know they lived in a gated community. Right. We were like, suck it now in this bitch.
When I
You
move
know,
from here, it'll probably be gated though.
there you go. Hey,
Hey, look, I'm
levels,
no
okay?
judgment. No judgment.
It's
No
actually
judgment at all.
it's a reoccurring joke on the block. You know, and
It's
then
a
there's
good one.
levels.
It's a good question to
Oh,
ask.
it's absolutely. And, you know, and then there's levels. There's the gated communities where you put in your code, and then there's the gated community where you got to give the security officer your ID, right? So there's levels to this shit.
There is
So
levels.
even if you say gated, it's like, do you punch in your own code? Does the security guy say, "Hey, Mr. Johnson"?
And like here in New
I
York,
judge
in
my
the
neighborhood
apartment
by the
buildings,
schools.
There you
like
go. That's the
here
most
in New York
important
within
thing.
the apartment buildings, we got the secure building, or you got the secure building with the doorman.
There you
know?
go.
I usually
my next
date
one-
go ahead.
I would just say my next
Right.
building will be doorman security, but I got security, but just need to be the doorman security. You got to move on up.
I usually grade my you know what I
Jefferson,
mean,
Jefferson.
my you know, neighborhood choices by how far Starbucks is from it.
Oh, that's funny.
I got
If a
like
Starbucks is
within, like, 2
extremely far
miles.
from that bitch, that means this is not a good community.
I got
You know what I
Starbucks, I
mean?
got Whole Foods, I got Target.
See, there you go.
Oh,
See, there you go. There
not
you
the
go.
Whole Foods. All
But you
right.
know
There
what
you
the
go.
problem is? You know what the problem is? I got to drive like 30 minutes, 40 minutes after 10 o'clock to get anything.
Oh no.
Kari, didn't you say you live in Florida
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Yeah, so you know you probably have a Publix nearby.
Oh,
And so-
Oh, I
definitely.
love Publix.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
I
if you
love
got a
Publix.
Publix, you're in good shape. So
They close it. I got 3
They
of them
close at
within
10,
2
yeah.
miles.
When I go down south, I cannot leave without getting a Publix sub. Can't leave without getting
yeah,
a
that's
Publix
right.
sub.
You said the chicken.
Oh,
the,
it's got crack in it.
I
The
didn't
chicken
even
one?
know that Publix was fancy. Like I was in Miami,
I
and
didn't know either.
I had no. I mean, it just didn't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dina DeLuca. If anybody remembers Dina DeLuca from way back in the day in New York City, and Whole Foods to me looked more fancy than the Publix
No.
I went into.
It's
I
Publix
not
didn't
is
that
get
it's
fancy.
it.
fancy.
Publix
It's
is
good.
fancy because they don't want you to tip anybody, and they will take your bags to your car for you. No
Is that what
problem.
it is?
Yeah.
well,
And
you
it's
know,
not
I
Okay.
that. It's
They're very
it's
helpful.
more.
Okay.
It's really. It's just it's hard to explain. Like it's good.
So they just have a Disney employee system.
I'll tell you what, Jim, for me,
Everybody's tries to be happy, and
That's why I
every
said
location-
Disney.
And I think every location hires somebody with special needs.
Yes, I love
Well,
that.
Walmart
part.
does that. Walmart
Yeah.
does that, and so
Yeah.
does Family Dollar.
Target.
See, I don't
too.
think
I've
Walmart
only been
does
in
it on
one.
purpose.
Every Publix I've been in,
No, they
every
got
Publix
to.
I've been in, it is clean. Those floors are spick and span. I've only
Okay,
been
all
in
right. Well,
one Publix,
all right.
only one,
What do
where
you
it's
think?
in Coral Gables of all places where I saw a dirty floor in a Publix. But if
Okay,
you go
go
into
Publix.
Winn-Dixie down here, you know, for
It's
Walmart,
the subs for me. It's the subs for me. I live the
Yeah.
sub shop in Publix. There's something about them subs at Publix.
I didn't even know I was in a fancy
Now-
supermarket. Dig that.
Now,
It's
if I go
not
to
that it's
Walmart,
fancy. It's just good.
if
but
I go
it's
to
good
Walmart
quality.
across the highway, you know, like go underneath the highway, you go to the other side. You know, the highways divide the cities between black and white. You go underneath the highway into the black neighborhood. All of a sudden, you got to call somebody to give you help to get deodorant out of the damn case that's locked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's
All
really
right,
funny?
so-
You know what's really funny, Jen? I see all the individuals around our age who are, you know, in a good space in life, making a considerable amount of money. And then I just see us anytime we have to talk about, you know what I mean, going to the other side of the neighborhood where the blacks are located, and just how we sound when we're talking about going on the
We
other side.
sound like white people. We sound like
Yes,
white
we
people.
sound like fucking white people
Well,
a lot of times.
Yeah, the
I
older
said
black
This
people
is
get
the
become
irony
white.
of it.
We become white. We be damn near Republican if you don't be
I
fair.
I said it to point out how the cities, how pretty much all cities are divided by the highway on which side is white and which side is black, you know. And they usually
But it's not,
built
even
the
know what,
highways
it's not,
between them.
again, I'll say this and then we'll segue because I have a video I'd like to play of y'all Godfather. I say y'all because he was in my Godfather. So I have a video.
My godfather.
Yeah. Oh, he was yours, you said?
I said he wasn't my godfather.
Oh, okay.
I agreed with something, but it wasn't my godfather.
Right. So, you know, we've been made to believe very, very convincingly that our issues are race issues, and they're not. They're really not. It's economics, because we feel the same exact way, right? We don't want to deal with the ratchets and the motherfuckers who break down the building. It doesn't even matter if we live in the hood. We don't want to walk into a pissy elevator. We don't want the glass broken in the hallway. We don't want to walk by the graffiti. We want it to be safe for our kids. So it really is more an economic issue than it is a race issue, in my opinion, because when most of us live around our own kind, all right? And you don't really deal with white people unless you leave your neighborhood and you work in corporate America and what have you. But all of us are around our own kind for the most part when we live in those neighborhoods. And I'm not worried about a white person in those neighborhoods. I'm worried about the Puerto Rican dude or the Mexican dude or the black dude or this bitch who's on crack and she want to climb in my fire escape window to steal my TV. Like, I'm worried about those people. I'm not worried. When I used to live in those neighborhoods, I wasn't worried about George or No Saint, you know what I mean? I don't know, doing what? In the South Bronx, right? So it really is, but this country will have you believe that, no, it's the white people, it's the black, no, the fuck it ain't. I just, it's quality of life. It's quality,
Well,
I want a good
it's
quality of
systems
life.
that was created by these people that caused a lot of these things.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And plus,
And that's
was
why
around.
I always like to.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's why I always like to state that, like, I'm proud to live in a neighborhood that's all people of color, and it's safe and it's well taken care of. And so
right. It's like it's like Baldwin Hills, the quote unquote Black Beverly Hills. Who do you think lives in Baldwin Hills? Right? We have a new guest. I don't think he's been up here before. James Oko.
Yes. Hey, how's it going, Jen?
Hi, James Oko. Have you been here before? No, right?
No, I haven't been here before. I checked out your content about a week ago, and I said, why not?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Why not? Well, welcome, brother. What do you have to say about anything that you've heard thus far? Let's hear your opinion.
Well, yeah, I think you guys have a lot of informative opinions. I think you guys make a lot of good points. I just think that as far as race, I lived in New York City, for 4 months, but within the first 2 weeks that I lived there, I was stopped and frisked. I was on 125th at a McDonald's. I had a coupon in my wallet, so I pulled out my wallet with my coupon, and I had about 30 credit cards that I have. Or I had some credit cards, and before I knew it, 2 cops just ran up on me and searched me. It was so embarrassing. So, I think that, before we can tell somebody else about their experience, we all have an opinion, but, our opinion comes from our own lived experiences. So we could talk to our own experiences, but we can't necessarily tell someone else about their experience. Like, would you agree with that, Jen?
Of course. Mm-hmm.
And then also, I also want to tell you, I've seen your content, and I popped up on your videos, and I was like, oh wow, she really has a lot of charisma. She's really intelligent. But I did think I do like Kevin Samuels' content. I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder sometimes when I listen to your content, which I do like, but I wonder, I'm like, you know what? If somebody doesn't matter, then I'm not even going to bring them up. It seems like he really affected you.
That's what this is. Oh, you come to defend your daddy. I love it though. It's cute.
Let him go. Let him go. Go ahead, darling. Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin Samuels, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody agrees with everything that somebody says, okay?
True.
Nobody does. So, but even a broke clock is right twice a day, And so So he made a lot of content to encourage young men. He made a lot of content to tell young men, go strive, go try to be better, before he even started talking about women. And,
Mm-hmm.
so he gave it to the men just as hard as he
Mm-hmm.
gave it to the women. And even your style, I would think you could identify with that, because even you're really nice, but if you cross you the wrong way, you can be very blunt, right? And you can be very
Mm-hmm.
frank. So sometimes when you give somebody the medicine, you have to give it to them. It's not going to always taste good. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't agree. I didn't agree with everything he said, but he definitely made a lot of good points. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Where are you from? Where are you from?
I live in Los Angeles right now, but I'm
You in
from
Los-
North Carolina.
Oh, you from North Carolina. How old are you?
I'm 39.
You're 39. Okay. I'm curious. You said that it seems like Kevin Samuels really affected me. How so? I'm curious.
Well, this is my thing, right? So I'll give this analogy about
Mhm.
women, right? So when
No,
I
no, no,
meet
no,
a
no, no, no,
woman,
no, 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 no. Wait. Let's pause for a minute. You said that he affected me. So I want to know, what have I shown or what have you seen that gave you the idea that Kevin Samuels affected me, not women, because I'm not women. I am a woman. So how did he affect me? Because you said it seemed like he really affected you, Jen. So let us know how Kevin Samuels affected me. What you see? What did you see?
well, when I saw this, I don't know if you know it or not, but you're having a live about him right now, a live stream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're having a live stream about him right now.
Yeah.
Right. He's not
Are
even
you
around anymore.
right?
He's not
But
even around anymore.
yeah, but he died today, and today's also Cinco de Mayo, and I go on all week. So whatever that, that I do trending topics, right? And I talk about a lot of people that are dead. Lots of people that are dead. Are you saying we shouldn't talk about dead people?
Well, the reason I say he affected you was
Mm-hmm.
because I went back, like I discovered your content like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to tell you, this is not a contentious, like I don't have you understand what I'm saying? I'm not
I
trying
told it,
to,
you're good, but darling, you're good. Speak your piece. But I want to, because if I'm telling somebody affected them and they ask me, how did that person affect them? Then I'm going to have, well, I think this person affected you because of X, Y, and Z. So I'm just asking the question, why do you feel like he affected me? And all you said was you're doing a live about him. Well, half the internet is doing a live about him tonight because he died tonight. And tonight is Cinco de Mayo. So we're all here talking about the trending topic. So I'm just asking, how do you say he affected me? Because I just think it's weird how people say something without evidence. You don't think that's weird, James? Like when people say things without evidence?
well, I mean, I can tell you some if you want.
Sure. That's why we're here.
Well, let me just, can I use one analogy if you don't mind? Just
Go
one.
ahead. Give it to us.
Okay. So when I meet a woman, right?
Yes.
When I meet a woman, if she's constantly talking about her ex, constantly, I'm like, wow, she's not over him. You know what I mean? Like, because why would you be talking about somebody that you don't even like?
Mm.
Right? I don't go around talking about people that I don't like. I don't go around making lives about people that I think were bad for the community and sucked. Because even you, I've heard you yourself say, I was listening to one of your videos a couple of days ago, and once again, I do like your content. And I heard you say,
did you subscribe? Did you subscribe?
Did I subscribe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Okay. And I heard you, even on that Kevin Samuels video, you came out with a video talking about like, oh, Kevin Samuels, and you talked about the video you made mocking his death. But even you said, oh, all you Kevin Samuels haters in the chat, every time you bring my name up and you click on my video, you're just throwing it back into the algorithm and you're just helping me. So aren't you just helping his content? Like,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with Kevin Samuels on this. That's why we're paying
right. Like, James, I don't know how familiar you are with my content. You said that you watch. You said you subscribe. Hopefully you did. For the record, I have 419 videos on my channel. As of today, well, now it's 420 with this live. So out of 420, this is the third one. Listen to
but
the map.
Jimmy,
Wait. No.
Can I jump in real
he
quick?
Hold
didn't have
on.
one
Wait a
about
minute.
you.
Wait a minute. Wait a
He
minute.
didn't
Wait a
even
minute.
have one about you,
Wait.
though. He
Wait a
didn't have
minute.
one about you,
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. Because he didn't know me. Kevin didn't know me. That's kind of silly,
Exactly.
right? Who's your favorite artist?
How's that a gotcha?
No. Who's your favorite artist, James?
I was
Let's say I like J. Cole. Let's say J. Cole.
You think J. Cole knows you?
Huh?
Do you think J. Cole knows you?
Well, I'm from Laurinburg, North Carolina. He's from Fayetteville. I've met him on a few different occasions out here in LA.
Okay.
He doesn't know me, but no,
Right, he doesn't know you. So it's a little silly, right? For someone to say, well, J. Cole doesn't know you. Why are you buying his albums, right? Because he's the public figure with the fame. Kevin Samuels is a public figure, and he was pretty famous. He was Black famous, but that's a form of fame nonetheless, right? So that's not really a gotcha. Like, of course, he didn't know me. I bet you if he was still alive, we would have eventually run into each other eventually.
And
because we work in the same space.
And when he was alive, when he was alive, did he ever come to your defense, sir?
Oh yeah. Well, listen. Let me say this, right? He did come to my defense. He comes to Black man's defense. He's yours.
Hey, James. I was on this live a couple nights ago, and Jen said, "Hey, we're gonna be doing a show on Friday about Kevin Samuels," and I immediately was like, "You going at Kevin Samuels?" And then she was like, "No, it's a celebration of his life." These are my words here now. There might be some shade here and there, but it's not just a show just to try to shade and say he ain't shit or something, nothing like that. Because I agreed with some of his words. I didn't agree with all of them. You know, I thought he was a funny dude. I thought he was harsh, but it is what it is.
Kari.
Yeah.
And let me co-sign that. You know, I've said repeatedly, he was a great entertainer. And I found him very funny because his manner of speaking is very much like mine. So that's what I've said about Kevin. Now, I'm also right over and over again. I said that he had a great hustle. I say, people don't like Candace Owens. I listen to her as well. Jen? Is she? I mean, would I invite her out to tea? Probably not. But she's also entertaining and shoot straight from the hip, and I respect people like that. Hey, George, what were you saying?
Is it just me, or does it seem like we now are on with MC Serch and Kanye West? Because Jan kind of looks like Kanye West at this angle, and the way he's speaking as well.
Hey, but can I say
one more Kanye West?
Yeah, go ahead. Let him talk since he's never been up here. Go ahead, James.
Hey, so look, this is how I am, right? I'll listen to everybody, right? So I'll listen to people I agree with. I'll listen to people I don't agree with. Like I listen to Umar Johnson, then I'll listen to Jared Taylor, then I like listening to everybody.
Yeah, I like Jared Taylor too. Taylor too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you know because I saw that video where you said you had a candid conversation about race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk about race all the time.
Right. So, and I thought that was a very informative conversation, and you guys do a good job. I like this stuff. I don't want you to think I'm trying to listen. It wouldn't be fun if everybody agreed with each other, right? That's called group thought, right? So somebody got to mix it up, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, but so this is the thing, right? So can I tell you a couple things that I disagree with you about on that candid race video?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is the thing, right? Okay. There's a spectrum of who you can respect and who you cannot respect. Okay. And we all know this. And we all know who you're allowed to disrespect and who you are absolutely not allowed to disrespect.
Who is that? Who's that?
Okay, so we all know you're allowed to disrespect Black men on television and publicly. And we know that, and you want to know how you know that? Because when I looked at all your videos and I looked through all the thumbnails, I didn't see one thumbnail that said white people anything, white men anything. But I did see thumbnails that said Black male YouTubers. Should you listen to them? And when you know what, when you had that video, Candid Race, when the video started, you know what I thought in my head? I said this video is probably going to go the way most race conversations go in the United States, which is let me start the video let me talk about Emmett Till, because we know racism was from like 100 years ago.
Right.
And once we get that out of the way, then I just felt like this, Jen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like if there were some people in the chat that sent you like water emojis and said some racist stuff to you, that's messed up. Black people can be racist too. They can be racist too.
Yeah.
But I felt like when you on your live stream, when you said, "Oh, I send banana and monkey emojis," I felt like somebody told you something in the chat, right? But on your live stream, you said, "Oh, I send banana and monkey emojis." Like, I felt like you wanted to get that off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's just the way I felt. I felt like there was some informative stuff in the conversation, but I feel like the only thing that was missing from that conversation about race was a strong, competent Black man that disagrees with you. Because you had two white guys that were pretty good. They were pretty informative. They had some good stuff, and they should be a part of it. You had the other gentleman, but he agrees with you on everything, the other Black guy. So what's missing from this conversation is a strong, competent, intelligent Black man that disagrees with you.
Are you a strong, competent Black man who disagrees with me?
Not on everything. I like you. I think you're very smart. No, I think you're very intelligent. That's why I listen to your. Come on now. That's why I checked out your content and listened to it. I think you're very competent. So I don't want you to think, like even you said I can agree with people who I don't like. You said I want to have a cup of coffee with Jared Taylor. You know what I mean? You said right. So you get it. You can talk and vibe with people that don't agree with you on everything. You get it.
Yeah.
So I haven't said nothing disrespectful.
One of them $100 virtual dates. That's what's going on right now. This is a virtual date.
You want James?
And I haven't taken no personal. And let me say something too. I haven't said nothing disrespectful to nobody, or I haven't. You know,
James, you're good. James, listen. Hey, you're good. No one's offended. You're good. You say what you got to say, brother. We're all here.
Like this is my thing, right?
By the way, you can send $100 Cash App to my Cash App, and you and I can talk for an hour one-on-one if you like.
Hey, I got it. $100 ain't nothing.
I know it is. It's nothing. Drop in the bucket, fuck it, right? Well, Cash App on the block with Jen. If you ever want to talk to me for an hour, just you and I, you do that, James. I got no beef with you. But go ahead. You were saying?
You know, and this is what I was gonna say, right? So I know what it's like, right? Because I've lived in New York, and I know Puerto Ricans, right? Yes. And I know they grew up in the same neighborhoods we did. I get it. I know they can be fiery. I get it, right? But this is the
you said he grew up in New York?
No, this is the only thing, Jen. I just want to say this.
He lived in New York.
For 3 months.
Best friends with Puerto Ricans.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, continue.
So, Jen, this is the thing I want to tell you, right? I've really been thinking about this, and I want to tell you this, right? You got to understand it's a difference between, you got to understand how you come off, like how you're perceived by people. You understand what I mean? So, what I mean by who?
Perceived by who? By people. Do you think, well, let me pause you right there. Let me interject. Do you think Kevin Samuels gave a fuck how he was perceived?
Yeah, you can tell that from his aesthetic, from the way he looked and everything. He definitely gave a fuck.
Okay, so he cared. Okay, he cared how people looked at him aesthetically. Am I not fine? Am I not fine sitting up here?
You're very attractive. You're very attractive.
Okay, so that's something Kevin and I had in common. We cared how people looked at us aesthetically. Kevin cared how he looked aesthetically. Jen cares how she looks aesthetically. But you said how people perceive me. Kevin didn't give a fuck how he said what he said to people, right? And nor do I. So Kevin and I, you should revere us the same way.
This is what I meant when I said the way you come up. I didn't finish. This is what I mean. And I want you to just listen to me and don't take this the wrong way. Just listen to me, right? Think about this, right? So you're Puerto Rican, right? But this is the thing, right? This is what I always wonder, right? Why are you always talking about Black people? Because I never really see you, even in that candid race conversation, You never said nothing negative about white people. But I knew it was just a matter of time before you said.
Wait a minute.
Puerto Ricans either.
Let me pause you. We have 2 white men on the panel, James. Okay.
And they both got on baseball caps.
Okay, but wait, let me finish. Let me get this out because I don't want it to get confusing. Let me finish, guys. I love you all, but shut the fuck up for a minute. Okay. No Saint and George, can you just off the top of your head say a couple of the derogatory names I've called you here to your face? Just a couple.
White devil, alien,
Cracker.
Yeah.
Colonizer.
I just laughed at all of it.
We didn't make you.
And
you didn't come from us.
Yeah.
I don't want to live around
what did I say about would I ever let a white man touch me? Would I ever date a white man? What have I said about that, guys? You've been here long enough. What have I said?
You said something to the effect of you would never crack your legs open and let a white man skeet in you.
Right.
That's so intelligent.
So I said,
you told us you loved us at the end.
Absolutely.
Right.
As I've said here numerous times. I've said to these gentlemen, like, hey, I love you guys, I respect you, but never forget you're still white. And let's just leave it.
Okay, so now, let's go step by step. Okay, James, you said that I never say anything about white people. Not only do I say many things to these white men here who you just heard witness, but there are many videos where I talk about white people in a very negative light. So now that you have that new information, because sometimes we're ignorant to shit, so then we just say shit because we're talking about our feelings. But I think a mature person, once they get new information, right, they change their idea. So now that you have this new evidence, this tangible evidence, how do you feel now about what you said regarding me never saying anything about negative white people?
You gotta put it all in the context. But yeah, you know what? Maybe you do. Look, I'm not up here saying that I'm right about everything. And I'm just having a real conversation. Like, has anybody ever really talked to you like this on your live stream? Be honest.
Yeah, every now and then one of you guys, you're not an anomaly, honey. I'm sorry. Like every now and then we get one of you to come on and you're actually, you read from the same script. You're usually a Kevin Samuels fan. You say I only talk about Black people. You say I don't say anything. Like you guys really are like, I'm starting to think they're cloning you guys and somebody's sending you over here because you're saying the same script and you build up the same way. You start out with you like me, you watch me, you think I'm smart.
I'm your fan too.
Right. And then you build up to why do I only talk about Black people? And that's a blatant lie. I have 419 videos on my page. But the thing is, when I throw a rock, right? And this is one thing I do admire about white people, that when I throw a rock and it hits them, they don't give a fuck. When I throw a rock and it hits Black people, they want to make a big case about it. Selma happens all over again. And I am an equal opportunity hater, okay? I am a misanthropist. Do you know what a misanthropist is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I'm a misanthropist. I loathe humanity. I quote Agent Smith all the time. I think human beings are a virus. And that's not gender or race specific.
You are a virus.
I think human beings are a virus. But however, since human beings include Black people and Black people don't like being talked about or they think they're beyond reproach, I get you guys to come up here and only notice the times I talk about Black people. I sat up here and talk about Puerto Rican people all the time. I talk about Puerto Rican. Wait a minute. I talk about the white Tinos. Okay. Behind the scenes, those are like the Latins that
Jennifer Lopez
present as white, right? Jennifer Lopez. I named them. I even call out their name, right? So James, I talk about every and anything, but because you are Black, when you hear Black, it's like holy water. It's like, don't talk about us, right? But that's you dealing with your trauma, which I also talk about, of being a Black man in America. So I'm not your problem. I say that over and over again. Systemic oppression is your problem. What you feel you can't get done is your problem.
I didn't say that. You said that.
But I'm not your problem. I am saying it. I know I just said that.
I didn't say systemic. I didn't say systemic oppression.
No, but I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you that's what your problem is, but you want to project on me.
No,
your problem is not me. No, that's your problem. Because I'm not your problem.
I'm rich.
I'm not you're rich?
Yeah.
Oh, then
Colin Todd saying something different though.
Can you super chat me then? Because you're rich. You should be super chatting me right now. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? We talking money now. You rich. Why haven't you super chatted me watching my show all the time?
Look, hey, I'm about to super chat you soon as I stop. Like, hey, listen, wait.
As soon as I call the bank,
can I say one more thing? Can I say one thing?
You can say whatever you like, honey. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You can stay here the whole night too. You're welcome, by the way, James. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
So once again,
James, you know
I
we
listen
talk
to
shit.
your stuff.
We like you, James.
I know.
We talk
like I listen to your stuff. I seen the video you had about James Franco playing Fidel Castro, and how you talk to Latinos about how, look, they're gonna pick the person that has the best role, that's best for the role. So I have listened to your content. I'm trying to tell you. And by the way, I'm not anybody that thinks systematic oppression is holding me back. I absolutely don't think like that.
Then why do you care? Then why do you care that a Latina on YouTube with 4,000 subscribers? Why do you give a fuck when I talk about Black people if you're not sensitive to your race? Why do you care? How is it affecting you? How does my channel affect you? Again, you admitted I spoke about James Franco regarding Fidel Castro. So you admit that you've seen videos of me not talking about Black people. So you're confusing me now, James. You're contradicting yourself.
Who do you think is okay? Let me ask you this: do you think that it's okay that people are allowed to disrespect Black men on television?
Yes.
Do you think
nobody is safe?
Do you think
yes.
that?
No, I think that anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. And also, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Wait a minute. Here's the thing.
Yes, she did. I was there.
Tell me what's wrong.
Here's the thing.
3 things that's wrong about Jewish people right now.
Here's the thing. Okay, listen. Here's the thing.
Things wrong with Jewish people.
Here's the thing. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna prioritize. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. All right. There are Black people attacking, hating, and killing other Black people. Have you addressed that? Have you addressed that in your community?
I do not believe in Black on Black violence. That's a myth. That's a myth.
No, he's one of those.
Okay,
Black on Black violence is a myth.
Funny.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not talking about the phrase because people don't like the phrase. Forget the phrase.
I believe in urban violence.
Okay, urban violence. Now, okay, in cities like New York, Detroit, New Orleans, things like that, do Black people kill Black people? It's just a question.
Can I respond to that? to that?
Yes, I said it's a question.
So Black people
sometimes
kill Black people. Wait. So Black people kill Black people. So at a rate of 93%. So if a Black person is murdered, it's a 93% chance that it's by another Black person.
Correct.
Now, can I ask you one thing? If a white person's murdered, what do you think the percentage is that
White
it's another
people
white
do.
person?
Okay, but no, we have to listen.
It's
Okay,
87%.
Listen. We have to stay on Black people. Do not divert to white people. Your concern is Black people, right?
Yes.
You care what happens to Black people, correct?
Yep. 93% of Black people killed by other Blacks.
Okay, forget everybody else.
of
Listen,
whites.
you're here because you're offended for the Black race. So let's stick to the Black race.
I didn't say that.
No, you are offended because you're sick. Then why are you here telling me I talk about Black people if you're not offended for Black people right now? I'm confused.
I'm offended for Black men.
Okay, Black men. Forget Black women, right? To hell with those bitches. Let's stick to Black men.
I said that so beautifully.
Okay. Oh look, we got him giggling. Okay, if your concern is Black men, which is a great concern, by the way, I'm telling you, if you're into prioritizing the Latina with the 4,000 subs, doesn't hold a candle to the Black men who are murdering Black men in inner cities. I think you should use your energy there. Don't you think?
Can I defend that 1 second? Can I speak 1 second on that?
Yes.
So let's take a city like Chicago, right? Or even New York. whoever's at the poverty line are going to be killing each other. So when the Irish was at the bottom of the poverty line, they were killing each other.
We're diverting. We're diverting. We have to stick to your concern. You don't care about Irish people.
Ooh,
Let's stick to what you're concerned about, sir. Let's stick to what you're concerned about. If I care about the whales, I'm not going to go off and talk about the turtles. I'm going to talk to you about the whales. You care about black men. Let's stick to black men. Let's prioritize. Do you think that on tonight, Cinco de Mayo, okay, 2023, your priority, since you care about black men, is the Latina with 4,000 subs and a very diverse panel, or your priority should be black men who are taking the lives of other black men? Let's prioritize. What do you think is more important right now, sir?
Jen, are you angry?
No, not at all.
She's from New York. We're just from New York. We're from New York. This is how we talk. You stay longer than 3 months.
Don't fall for it. It's a
If you
pro-black
stay longer
tactic.
than 3 months, you would have known that.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something.
No, you can't. No. We have to be fair here. You can't answer a question with a question. Here is the thing. Your concern is the lives and feelings of black men. Because remember, what I'm saying up here isn't taking black life. It is not tearing apart black families. It is not keeping black families on the poverty line. It's not doing any of that. We just all have opinions about different topics. However, there are systems in place that are doing everything that I said. There are systems in place that keep black men killing black men. I want to know why you're not there tonight, because a lot of black men are going to be killed by black men tonight because of Cinco de Mayo. So I'm just wondering why you're here and not out there. Can you answer that without a question?
But what was the question? I'm confused. What was the question again?
Okay, all right.
Like seriously, I'm really asking you. No, seriously, what was the question? Because you just
I'll repeat the question. Okay, I'll repeat the question. I'll break it down for you. Okay?
He needed more time to come up with an answer.
Right. Why are you here defending black men? Why aren't you in an inner city right now preventing the black men, okay, that are going to kill other black men this weekend? Why aren't you there if your concern is black men? Why is my channel with my 4K subs your concern if you're concerned about black men? Because here, no black men are being slain. No black men are being redlined. No black homes are being torn apart, okay? So why are you here if your concern is black men? Why are you here, sir? Should you not be somewhere else saving black men, the lives of black men? Why are you here? Do you understand the question now?
Yeah, I'm here because you look better.
Thank you.
There we go. We're getting somewhere.
Thank you.
That's all you had to
Thank
say.
you. So, okay. So
Can I ask you a question now?
No, wait a minute. I just want, let's expound a little bit. Let's expound. Okay.
Really?
So I want everyone watching, because people came in the room. Hi guys, hit like and subscribe. So I want you to understand that this is a perfect example of faux outrage. This man went from the plight of black men to, you just look better. That's why I'm here. So this is a subject that I talk about a lot, where black people are using their blackness and they're weaponizing it. Okay. They're villainizing other people under the guise of, you're hurting us. But this man just admitted tonight, I don't care that people are killing each other in Chicago and they're black. You look better.
You won't let me speak.
Go ahead, you can speak. I just wanted to explain to the people.
I'm saying right now. Just 4 days ago, we seen it, but as soon as I make a point, please don't. Just let me speak for a second. So let me ask you this. We just saw in Texas a week ago, right? We saw somebody leave their house shooting an AK-47, a Colombian, a Latino dude, and go into their neighbor's house and kill everybody. And kill everybody's house. Is that Latino on Latino violence? Is that Latino on Latino violence?
Yes, it was. The shooter was Latin and his victims were Latin. That is Latino on Latino violence, very much so.
So let me just finish 1 second. But the media doesn't call that Latino on Latino violence. You know how dangerous it is to link a race
worried about
to
the
violence?
title?
So black on black violence, right? That's a long-going racist trope that black people are violent. So it's not what you were saying violent. Is black people are violent. So you think inherently, so when a black baby is born, that if you put a black baby,
wait a minute, honey, wait a minute.
That baby's violent. That black baby's violent.
I'm violent.
To other babies.
But I'm violent.
Yeah.
Black on black
White
crime is a
people don't
media
kill
term.
other white people. White people do not kill other white people. I just
No,
realized
dude.
I just realized that.
Oh, he's being
I just realized
sarcastic.
that.
Here we go.
So
They
now
don't.
we're moving the goalposts. So what else do you need, James? Are you gonna hang out so we can continue talking about Kevin Samuels? Are you hanging out? What you doing, James? Let us know.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out because when that dude in Vegas went up to a hotel room and killed 50 non-black people, that wasn't white. Most of those people that they shot
there
in
was
Vegas at that
59
concert,
people
that
in a
wasn't
hotel
white
room?
on white violence.
That was that was. But
87%
James,
of white
James,
people are killed by
people in a
other
hotel
white
room.
people.
James,
87% of whites are killed by other whites.
James. That was also white on white violence.
So why doesn't the media call it that? But the media will say black on
We
black
don't
violence,
control
right?
the media.
When have you ever heard white on white violence being mentioned or Latino violence
On
in the
here.
media on CNN or MSNBC? When have you ever heard white on
The
white
irony, the
On
irony.
this channel, on this
Damn, he
this
got a
channel right
point.
here.
Damn, he got a point. God, we got to get him off of here. He's smart.
Okay, so do I not talk about? He's talking about himself apparently. So
Yeah, we didn't know.
what do I say when No Saint and George are arguing?
Yeah, y'all.
White
White
on
on
white
white
violence.
violence.
Ah,
white
shit! No.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing.
Really?
He doesn't
I
watch
just want
the
to
show,
say. I
Jay.
just want to say one
He doesn't
thing.
watch the show.
This is a hell of a fucking night for the Empress not to be on the goddamn chat, man. Any other fucking
Now
night this
you
broad is
see her
on this.
use. Now you see her use.
You can watch right now,
Everybody
lady.
has a use.
Any other fucking time you are in that fucking chat. This is the perfect time for you to be in. But I digress. Please.
Intellectually rich too. I didn't mean I'm financially some super rich person. I'm rich
Okay.
at heart. I'm rich at heart.
What
Well,
do
we
you
all
do?
are, sir.
That's definitely a Kanye line.
What do you, James? What do you do?
What do I do for a living?
Yeah.
Property management. I live in property management.
Okay. Is that why you have? Do you normally wear a suit to work?
No, look, I wear a
Well, that
suit.
for you, Jen.
It's
I
a
hope
suit.
so.
People don't like seeing black men in suits, boy. I've noticed.
Who said that?
No, I
Who
think
said that? She was
it's
like,
late.
Guys got a lot of insecurities.
Kevin Samuels'
James.
suit is a little too
Got
tight.
a lot of
Ricky
insecurities.
Martin.
Yeah,
You do
James.
watch
I
this show
like.
low key.
Oh yeah, he's heard a lot, right? I love
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I like
'Cause
you.
I'm
I like
catching
your
it.
show.
I'm catching it.
I'm a super chat you. I mess with you. I'm gonna put people onto your channel.
Raise the phone up a little bit. That's a bad angle. Raise the phone up. Just raise it up.
You want to see this pretty face?
No, I don't. But I'm saying, raise it up. I don't want to. No, raise it up. That's a bad angle. You see your
Delusions of
nostrils. You
grandeur.
see your thoughts through your nose. Raise it up.
Yeah.
I got big nostrils, huh? Yeah, I'm Nigerian, so we got big nostrils.
Raise the phone up a little bit. Just
You're
raise it.
Nigerian? So much makes sense.
Yeah.
But look,
You ain't here trying to scam us, are you?
No, I'm not. But look, hey, in all seriousness,
had that
can I be serious for a second? Can I be
Just send me
serious for a second?
$1,000 and I'll send you $3 million.
Right.
Can I be serious?
Trying to sell some sea moss.
Be serious for a second?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go
Hey,
ahead.
look,
DC.
in all seriousness, hey Jen, thank you for bringing me up tonight. Seriously, you didn't have to do this. Whenever anybody lets me up on their platform, I appreciate it. I really do, because whenever I'm allowed to speak, I appreciate it, because I just want to be heard. I feel like I have a lot to say, and I just want to be heard. And all you people on the platform, I like all of your opinions. I really do. I like all of you guys' opinions, and I do listen to your content. I think you're all very intelligent people, And I just want to say, let's love each other, man. Let's not celebrate somebody's death, guys. Come on, man. Your parents raised you better than that.
Okay.
They did.
Okay. Who's celebrating his death?
Ain't nobody celebrating his death, man.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know
Did
where you got
anyone-
that from. Yeah.
That's the point I tried to
We
make
have-
I'm
earlier.
glad I'm mistaken.
I
I'm
tried
glad
to
I'm
make that
mistaken.
point like 30 minutes ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to
we-
make sure. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy about that then. I just want to make sure I was mistaken.
Yeah, we're happy
Sorry,
that you're happy, sir. We are happy that you are happy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we can do for you? Can we accommodate you
No,
in any other way
no.
at the moment? Do you need some huggies? Do you need a pound?
You know
Do you need a
Let's actually. I learned how to screen share yesterday. Let's play some Kevin Samuels. Yeah.
Yeah, let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate Kevin.
What's going on, man?
What do you got?
Man, basically, just throughout my life, I just been getting bad energy from women. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I like, huh?
How old are you?
20.
Your age?
I'm 20 years old.
20.
Yep.
Are you in college?
Yeah, I'm in community college.
When's the last time you had a girlfriend?
I never had a legit girlfriend.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah.
You say you've been getting bad energy from women. When's the last time you went out on a date?
I've never been out on a date.
When's the last time you ever actually asked a woman out on a date?
Never asked a woman out on a date.
How can you get bad energy from women if you've never even asked them anything?
I don't think you need to ask them to know how a woman is feeling. I'm talking about the day-to-day.
You slow down. You're telling me you don't need to know anything. You don't need to ask them anything before you already know. That's what you said. I said, when's the last time you asked a woman on a date? You said never. So how are you getting bad energy from women if you've never asked them for anything? And you said, I don't think you need to ask them on a date to know you're getting bad energy. Please explain.
What I'm saying is, like, I'm talking about just me working with women and just
No, I'm not
around.
asking about you working with women. I'm asking about you approaching women romantically. I'm not going into the vague. I'm going into the specific. You see a woman that you find is attractive or you're interested in. Go.
Basically, you know, just the eye contact out there. I'm a guy who believes in choosing signals, and I never get those.
Hold on. You don't get to believe in choosing signals. That's some YouTube shit. You 20 years old. Tell me about when you were 16, 18, and why you didn't approach a woman. You don't get choosing signals. Choosing signals are for select men. Choosing signals are for alpha males. You're not that. Let's get there right now. Tell me about when you stepped to a woman and she rejected you.
Stop laughing.
I never actually asked them, but I've opened up to a conversation.
There you go. You never actually stepped to a woman. The problem ain't women. The problem is you. You expect a woman who's got plenty of options, to send you choosing signals over the alpha males and select males. You don't think you should have to go in there and compete for them. Why would a woman choose you when she got better options?
I feel like I'm a decent option.
You may be decent, but you're not better. I said better. That means if you're not a better option, if you want better outcomes, you got to do the work. See, you want more than you're willing to work for. You don't even want to approach a woman. You think a woman should approach you. That's why you get nothing. You're sitting back entitled. I think I'm a pretty decent pick. Good. How's that? Well, how old are you?
I'm 28.
What's your first name?
Oki. So it's short for Okechukwu.
Okay. Well, what are women getting wrong?
Women are. First of all, I just want to say I love your show. Been watching you since January, and you're doing God's work out here.
Appreciate it.
What women are doing wrong is I feel like a lot of women are impatient. So basically, women want a man to have it now. Women don't want to like wait or build with a man. They kind of just want the man to do all the hard work on his own, and then they kind of just want the benefits, you know. So I feel like if women can just kind of just be patient and like learn to build with a man.
What does be patient mean?
Being patient is basically, I think women should value a man off of potential. So like, let's say.
Hold on. I want to be clear. The women should value a man off of potential. How do you evaluate potential?
Like, visual potential. So basically, let's say if a woman's dating a 5-star recruit high school basketball player, but he's not in the NBA yet.
Yeah, well, I don't care about all that. I'm talking about regular men. I'm talking about,
let's say she's dating the valedictorian for the high school, and he got a scholarship to Harvard, but he's not making money yet. Like, that's what I mean, like date on potential.
So,
and a lot of women,
if you were a father, you condone turning your daughter over to a man strictly on potential.
If it's valid potential, then yes.
No, potential is potential. You don't know if it's valid until it's
valid potential.
Facts. So I potentially have a driver's license.
Your baby girl, if you raised, you protected, you kept chased, you kept her off the stripper pole, you turn her over to a man based strictly on his potential.
Yes, if it's valid potential, then yes.
Again,
valid potential.
So give us valid potential.
For example,
see what I mean is guys are we'll often say women need to be more patient. I agree. But when you say that they need to evaluate men off of potential, I'm listening. But you got to give some assurances. Potential offers no assurances. How do you say valid potential? Well, how do you validate something that comes with no assurances?
That's what I'm saying. Like, a high value man has to start out from somewhere. So women have to be able to see that before he becomes high value. And I feel if a lot of women did that, a lot of women can get these guys that they actually want instead of trying to get them when they're already high value and their standards are really high. I'll give you an example. I'm 28. I'm in my last year of medical school. I'll be a physician, anesthesiologist next year. So a lot of women actually are valuing me because they see that, okay, he's in his last year of medical school. He has good board score. He's smart. So I can see that he's going to be a high value man. So
a high earning man.
I
make a distinction between high value and high earning. Those aren't the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the high value part can come. I understand. Yeah, you're the six.
There are a lot of guys who make money who are not very valuable. But you're still saying that women should evaluate on the man on potential. Okay, but you got to give some parameters. All potential, because are you if you're familiar with the oil industry?
A little bit.
Okay, well, oil is found in certain places throughout the country. Just because you go drill for oil in Texas, because there's oil adjacent to the land, doesn't mean you're going to hit. But you still got to invest money.
It's potential.
You got to be able to define potential. Okay, a guy who's going to medical school, going to become an anesthesiologist. All right, but that's a very small subset of men.
It is. So what about a woman that basically...
I'm not disagreeing with being more patient and evaluating on potential, but the problem I have with potential is women could easily flip it up and say, I'm 300 pounds, but I'm working out now. You should marry me on the potential that I'm going to lose weight.
That is true, but it has to be valid potential. So I have to see her in the gym.
That's valid potential.
Diet. I have to see. I'm not saying that I would date a woman like that, but I'm saying.
Are most okay? So if a man becomes a doctor, all right, that means he makes good money. What about the man he is, though? See, there's more to potential than just money. See, what I'm trying to get you to understand is not trying to make every guy be you. You got to understand the market. How are you selling your potential? Because here's the problem I have with a lot of guys today. A lot of guys today think just because I make money, I should have all the options. Because I'm more educated, because I have these degrees, I should have all the options. That ain't how it works. You still got to sell yourself. I run into more upset, angry, frustrated guys who are STEM guys because they may be accomplished in their career fields, but they lack EQ, social skills, the ability to actually interact and get along in the social setting.
Woo!
But then they lament women, but they want women to pick up them on their potential.
God damn, let's keep moving.
Got to be more careful.
How you doing?
I can't really see you.
Can you see me?
You know, the light's behind you, so.
Can you see me?
Yeah. How old are you?
35.
Fresh out.
Okay. What are the women? What are they getting wrong?
I'm 35. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a business owner. Got an 8-year-old son. To make it short and simple, it's just the ability to listen, not hearing to respond, but listening to respond and work with the man, as opposed to seeing it like you trying to tell him, you're trying to tell him what to do, or you're trying to come across like you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to the last conversation, you was talking about that gap differential, right? And you were saying, you need to be able to teach a woman something. The biggest issue that I find with the different relationships I've been through, and I'm in Chicago, I'm from the South Side of Chicago, that I've been through is that the women find it hard to work with the man because of sometimes how either they were brought up, or if they had two parents in the household. My parents been married 25 plus years.
Okay. Hold on. We're kind of starting to ramble. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Women's biggest issue is they're getting wrong their ability to listen in order to hear. Make it simple, because you said several things, and one, if you want a woman to listen to you, are you talking about women in your past?
No, I'm even talking about.
Okay, I need you to stay still. The camera's moving all over the place.
All right, I got you. See me?
Yeah, because go ahead. You're a personal trainer. You're a personal trainer, and you have a father. You're a father of an 8-year-old boy or a girl.
Boy.
Do you have custody, or does mom have custody?
Jess actually won a court battle. That we both got partial custody.
Why didn't you and the mother get married?
At a young age, I was shot at 20, and I had some other stuff I was going through. And
you were 27 when you had a kid. Why didn't you marry the mother?
Right. So the reason I didn't marry her, because I was out doing my thing. I'm not even gonna BS.
What does that mean?
That means having sex with multiple people, just out living, but always take care of my son. But yeah, I mean.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a hard question. How many children does she have?
Now she had one with me. That was her first. She has 2 other kids now. So she has three total kids. She lives in Michigan. I live in Chicago.
All right. So you want women like her to listen?
Hell no. Not at all.
Or who are you talking about then?
You said.
Okay. But what I'm trying to understand is anytime we say what's going on with women, it usually ties back into something that's going awry in the women we're dealing with.
Absolutely. Right. That's just my son's mom. But I'm going back to your general question. To just simplify to make it simple, what I found, because I've dated when I was 32, I had a woman who was making $50,000 a month. And she was 39. No bullshit. She was 39. So I've had a different range. And what I found, just one thing in all my relationships, is just like in the art of conversation, accountability, things like that.
You're not making it make sense. You're chest pounding. You're not making any sense.
You asked.
I'm 32. She is 39. She's making $50,000 a month. What are they getting wrong? Women are getting wrong. What are they getting wrong? Not listening.
Right. The ability to listen, because listening is cognitive, right? And hearing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm hearing.
Right.
I am a man.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm having a hard time understanding you. Maybe men need to become better communicators. Maybe you need to become a better communicator. Because I am struggling to stay on the path with you. Okay, so much so that I've had to ask you 2 or 3 times to reframe it. So I agree, women need to listen in general, but I also can understand if we are not clear in what we are given. See, Sun Tzu will tell you that if the army does something wrong, first you blame the general. If the general give clear orders, were the orders understood? Could the troop follow it out? If so, then the fault belongs in the commander. But if on the second turn, if it's done wrong and everything else remains the same, then the fault belongs on the soldier. If you are the commander and your orders aren't being followed, the first person that's at fault is the general.
Okay.
Are you sure that the women you're trying to get to listen to you understand you, can carry out what you want to carry out?
Damn.
I mean, yeah, it definitely comes down to who you pick, and I mean, it's through trial and
But
error.
what I'm saying, are you sure when you're communicating with somebody that they understand you and that they can carry out what you're asking to be carried out?
Repeat that one more time for me.
Are you sure that the people you're talking to understand what you're saying and have the ability to do what it is you want done?
So in some occasions it's yes, in some occasions it's no.
Well, in this occasion where it's no, you can't expect anything different.
Right? No, absolutely. And then at that point in time, it's up to the man, like, or people in general, to cut that off and learn from that. What I'm just basically answering is and I hear everything that you're saying. I'm listening. Is you said, what are women getting wrong? And I'm not going all into deep conversation about everything else. I'm just saying, for me, for my group of men that I know, my homies, my friends, or whatever like that, it's just the ability to have a conversation, to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because
I would say that I hear you.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I hear you, but I'm also going to challenge to men in general, black men in particular. Far too often, black men, we just ramble and talk.
Dude, geez.
One of my abilities is I get straight to the point and I cut through the clutter. You want someone to listen to you, you gotta keep. There's something called the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid.
Stupid.
Keep it simple.
Right.
Because if ultimately there's a communication breakdown, that's 2 ways. Communication breakdown is always 2 ways, and more often than not, it's a breakdown in you not communicating, the person doing the communicating not being clear. Less often, it's the person being actively listening. That's the less part. But I agree with what you're saying. Appreciate it.
Jeez.
Yes, modern women need to be more patient. Granted. But there was some point in time where Donovan had to say, this is what the fuck I am. No matter how I got here, no matter what. If I want this, I'm going to have to do some things. I'm going to have to improve my diet, do some resistance training, do some cardiovascular. If you're living behind, even if you cannot quantify it, there is something that comes along. But I use the money thing because you can immediately see, this is where I am. Let's say you're 30 years old and you're not making 45. Let's say you're 30 years old and you're making $30,000. That means you need to get up in the morning and start living life with a sense of urgency. You need to start running your life like you are losing, because you are. Running, you cannot walk. You cannot even speak well. You need to start running and understand something. The first thing is you need to be working 60 plus hours a week. Let me say that again. If you're behind, you cannot just work 60 hours a week. You need to be working closer to 80. Yeah, that's right. That's right, dude. You need to lose some goddamn sleep and get out there and bust 2 full-time jobs to get your money up. Because until you get your money up, you cannot lead an adult male life, not a happy one. You can live a ratchet one. You can date some lower caliber females, 2s, 3s, and 4s. You're going to have a life of ratchets and fast food. And honestly, good dudes, it is going to be impossible for you to do what you need to do to catch up. Because we talk about self-improvement. Here's where the rubber meets the road. You cannot hire a personal trainer, nutritionist, life coach, image consultant, any of these things because you don't make enough money.
If you can barely pay your bills, you need another source of income. I've hammered this, but this is what you got to do. You got to start working. I already said, if you're 40 and under, single, no kids, and you're not working 60 hours plus a week, you're lazy. But if you're behind financially, you need to be working closer to 80. Yeah, that's 16-hour days. That means all you do is sleep and work, sleep and work, sleep and work. And let me tell you what this means. You need to go into overdrive. Zero excuses. No women. No dating.
Woo!
No pussy chasing. No, none of that. Put yourself in jail for at least a year to get your mind right. What the fuck you out here at the bar having a beer looking at the football game? Dude, you broke. You're only in these rooms and stuff, and you're living a lie. That's why a lot of guys are depressed. So what you do is you kick life into overdrive and take the money, the additional money you make, and you need to double down on self-improvement. That means if you've been able to get by on your one job, the next job, you need to go get a psych eval, find out what's holding you back, get a life coach. If you're out of shape, overweight, or something, get a personal trainer, take your second job and use it to start improving your life. Because when you start looking and liking who you see, you'll do better. Any CIA man who's on his purpose and know your pockets is on short. When we talk about, yeah, man, we're gonna go over to the spot and then we're gonna go have a couple of drinks, and you know you ain't got nothing but $20 in your pocket. And we say, okay, this round is on me, and you know you cannot buy a round. So if you've had to live a life of going to the bathroom when the round of drinks are bought, or even worse, you're not around people like that. It's always, I buy my stuff, you buy your stuff. Dude, you're dying on the inside every day because you don't go nowhere and do nothing because you know you don't want nobody to find out that you've been living below. That's real talk. You feel bad. So it's like, I'm going to just go to work and go home. But see, what you're doing is beating yourself up. What you're doing is you're living life in jail. Better to say, you know what? I'm going to go out and work, because at least you'll get the sense of satisfaction.
Okay. That was a lot of information. I want to discuss some. Okay. That was a lot. So going back, of course, James ran out of here because there's no conflict. There's no one hating on Kevin Samuels, but he did send me a super chat to ask if my tits are real. Thank you, James.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, are they real?
Thank you for the super chat. I usually answer if my tits are real. $100 Cash App, and we can one-on-one StreamYard. $100 Cash App, and that's where I answer if my tits are real. Thank you for the super chat. So moving on, let's discuss this. This is why I wanted to do this stream and why I captioned it, remembering Kevin Samuels the way they don't want to. Mm-hmm. Okay? The way they want to remember Kevin Samuels is the average at best guy, the guy that was dragging Black women, the guy that was saying women after 35 are leftovers, women that were overweight, women, it doesn't matter if you had degrees. That is how everyone wants to remember Kevin Samuels. Everyone ignores everything that I just played. Ignore it like it didn't even exist. I had to go looking for this. And when I found it, I was like, this was completely omitted from his legacy. Completely. Mm-hmm. Now you hear now and then like, he got on guys too, but they didn't go viral. These videos, as good as they are, as motivational as they are, as a kick in the pants as they are for men to get their shit together, they didn't go viral. But we all know where the term high value men started and average at best. So I found it very, very interesting. And this is how, right, I wanted to do the memory of Kevin Samuels. He said a couple things. What link, James? What link would you like? Would you like to come back on the panel? Or are you talking about the link to my Cash App? Because I dropped that. It's Cash App on the Block with Jen. Pick a date and time. We could talk about my tits for an hour. So going back to these videos, you know, there was something that stood out to me, and then I'll pass the mic because I want to hear everybody else's opinion, okay? It wasn't easy to listen to if you feel insecure about any of those things. But from a woman's point of view, oh, he just want to come back on the panel. Lord almighty, this man. There's one every stream.
Exhibit A always comes through.
So this is what stood out to me and how I'm listening. The most conflict that I've had in my life with men were with men that were not clear, with men that kept pushing their potential, the potential of their potential at me, men that were not clear, men that didn't give me clear directions, or men that spoke a certain way and their actions were different. Remember, Lily, you said, I don't listen to what people say, I watch what people do. So when he was saying you got to cut everything off, even women, right? If a man wants a woman to take him seriously, right? And he's using his dick with abandon, I'll go with what Haran said. The way you do one thing is how you do every fucking thing. So why would I trust you with my life, with my money, with my collaborations, with my vision, with my care, with my love, with my femininity? Why would I trust you, sir? Okay. And I've been in this situation before in past relationships. Why would I give all that over to you and you don't have control over something that's attached to your body? If you can't control something that's attached to your own body, you're really not going to give a fuck about me because I'm not even attached to your body. So if you cannot samurai control an appendage, something that is between your legs, why would I give myself over to you? Why would I trust you when you can't even sit still from still being pussy hungry? Why would a woman do that? But what happens is that is how men present themselves. Okay, that is how they are in relationships. He said it himself. I was fucking around. I'll admit I was fucking up. I was fucking a lot of women. Yet he sits there with a straight face and says, women don't listen to me. She didn't listen to me. That's the problem with women. She don't listen to me. So do you see what happens here with the men, the Kevin Samuels fans? This is what happens. And they love the word accountability, but they couldn't find it if you wrote it on the bottom of a bat and beat their brains in with it. They still couldn't. Is that accountability? No, it's not. Here's another. Right? So I find it fascinating that he dropped all these gems and jewels, and men are running around the internet to see what women didn't like him. You know what is that? Men are you talking about Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, other than he criticized women, right? And I think honestly it's fucked up because this man's legacy was bigger than dragging black women. Way bigger.
Yes, it was.
Apparently. From what we just heard with our own ears, it was bigger than average at best. You're left over at 35. So quite honestly, I'm fascinated. I'm absolutely fascinated because everything he was saying, I'm like, I've met those men. I've met those men that are not clear in their fucking directions. They'll give you a pile of directions here and you're like, okay, good. Because women are soldiers for men, especially when we're interested. Okay?
Yeah.
We are fucking soldiers to men. You give us those directions, you give us the ingredients, we like, baby, I'm gonna make you the best fucking cake because that's what the fuck I do. Bring the ingredients, baby. I'm gonna make you a 3 fucking tier cake. It's gonna be frosted. It's gonna be the flavor you like. It's gonna be beautiful when you walk home from work. But if you fucking coming telling me, bake me a pie and you give me meatloaf ingredients, what do you want me to do? And then what the man does is he goes somewhere else and he says, she's fucking up my pie. She keep fucking up my pie. Motherfucker, you gave me meatloaf ingredients, you son of a bitch. How am I the problem? You gave me meatloaf ingredients and you're asking me for a fucking pie. And that is what men do. And then they run around telling their other friends, well, they just crazy. Women are crazy. I mean, yeah, I did give her meatloaf ingredients and wanted a pie, but women is just crazy. I digress. I'll pass the mic.
I'd like to say
go right ahead, George.
Yeah, it's this may have been a couple of months ago. We were talking about Kevin Samuels, and I said something like 15, 20 years from now, we'll be talking about Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking that what you just saw was what I was talking about primarily. My initial attraction to him was, I got to admit, the average at best thing, right? And there was this visceral, as I was watching, like, yeah, you put her in her place. But then I said, let me go watch some of his other stuff. And then I saw those videos where he's talking to men, and I realized very early on his primary audience was men. And I was thinking about some of the things he said even tonight, and kind of jogged my memory. I was like, you know what? He's right. That kind of hit home for me in a couple of areas, right? And so for me, even though his legacy or his whole thing, even though his primary audience, his intended audience were first African-American men, but then African-American women, but what he talked about, it applied no matter what your skin color is, because these were just kind of like life laws he's talking about, you know? So I was really glad you played that, Jen. I was really glad that you did. So I got to give you kudos for that. So that's all I got. So.
Okay. I like that you said really
on this channel.
Right. I was just about to speak on that, Lily. And I appreciate you for saying that, George, and admitting that when you first saw him, you thought he was one note, but then you went beyond that. It's the same thing that happens to me. This is why I thought Kevin was very entertaining, because we went through similar things. People come up here, right, in their suit and tie. You talk about black men, and he's not the first guy that did that. How many times have we seen that panel? How many times have we seen the guy, right? We've seen. Right. He comes up here, he starts talking about how great my panel is, blah, blah. And then in about 2.5 minutes, why you always talk about black men? Right. It's the same thing. Right. It's the same thing with Kevin Samuels. Right. But then on the flip side, they'll defend him. Those same people that are defending him will not talk about all the times he dragged men and told men, get your chips up. Why should a woman wait for you? What the fuck is this potential thing? Why aren't you busting your ass to be a better man? But what happens? Motherfuckers get mad at me because I won't accept a coffee date. Instead of going out and saying, let me be able to afford a better quality date, then ask this woman to accept me as is, which ties us into what we said earlier.
Jen, are you against a coffee date?
Yes, I am, very much so. I'm not the coffee date girl because I'm above a coffee date. Okay. But here's the good thing. After I answer, he'll know. That's how I know. Communication. But the awesome thing about this life is that there are women that will let you take them out for a cup of foam. You don't even got to put the coffee in it. You could just put the froth.
There it is.
He doesn't know your worth
James.
You could just
James.
Jen, he doesn't know your worth yet. So what's wrong with a coffee date?
If he doesn't know my worth, he shouldn't be asking me out.
What? No.
Right. Because I think if she says no, if she says no for coffee date, I think he might assume that she means no for any type of date, but he should just come back with it. Okay, if not coffee, can I take you out to dinner?
Or it could be no period.
Or no period.
All right, but let me please, let's acknowledge how easy that was what Kari just did. Can we just acknowledge how simple and easy that was? All right, you don't want coffee? Can I take you to dinner? After that, you get the final no, like, no, I'm not interested, but thank you. Or you get, you know what? That sounds good. You see how simple life is?
So hard.
And then at the end of dinner, I'm going to order some cappuccino.
But why is
and I will drink some tea because I don't drink coffee.
But why is rejection so hard for people?
But exactly. He's getting to know me. So when getting to know somebody, getting to know somebody. Okay. Can I take you out for coffee? Hey, I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. No, thank you. Then he can come back. He was like, okay, getting to know you is, what would you like to do? Or even better, if he's really gangster, he's going to have a plan. He's going to be like, listen, there's a restaurant across town. It just opened up. They serve blah, blah, blah. what are you doing next week? And I'd like to take you out to dinner. It's very simple.
He doesn't. He doesn't know that you're worth a restaurant yet.
Well, then that means he doesn't need to be dating women on her caliber because that's what he expects. That's her standards, and it's okay.
Well, what does she know that you're worth?
I'm not saying he's cheap. I'm not saying he's cheap. I'm saying he doesn't know you yet. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
I've taken plenty of women out on a date to restaurants for the first date. You know,
like what's the problem?
I kind of look at it. I kind of look at her saying no to a coffee date is like me asking a woman, "Hey, would you like to go to Dunkin' Donuts for the first date?" You know,
explain this.
Thank you.
To me. What's wrong with a restaurant? What's wrong with a restaurant? You know what? Let's split it down the middle. Let's split it down the middle. Let's split it down the middle. Take it to fucking McDonald's. How about that? You get the restaurant feel, and you can get coffee. You can split it down the middle. How about that?
Nothing wrong with McDonald's.
So here's the thing. But here's
why
the
am I
thing.
bringing out the bread for some woman I don't know?
Here's the thing. But here's the thing that you should never do.
Okay, well then you don't do that. Then you don't do that.
I'm just asking.
Bread is the problem.
Let me just respond. Let me respond because it's not.
Let her respond.
Let me respond because this is the problem, right? Again, there are women that are in your lane that will take a cup of froth. If you want to date this, you have to come out with some bread because you're not a looker. So you got to lead with something. You have to lead with something. And because this is Kevin Samuels' night, we're going to say it like it is because this is what Kevin would have told you. What's your height?
Date is leading.
Listen, no. Kevin would have said, and he said it before, lead with your wallet. And you're talking coffee. And you're talking coffee.
A coffee date is.
I personally make my decision on where I'm trying to take somebody to the date based on the person.
At it as the money spent on coffee. There's a lot of it's a lot of deals made before you get to that coffee place.
What do you mean deals? What are we talking about now?
You got to pay for parking. It's a lot of stuff. You look
It
at
sounds to me. It sounds to me.
That sounds like a bank account problem.
Listen, thank you.
That's all it is.
I'm not saying he's cheap. I'm saying he doesn't know her yet.
I'm going to say it because this is the thing. I have never in my life been asked on a coffee date ever, right? Because the men that I
what's wrong with it?
They wouldn't think like that. They just
there's nothing.
Like listen,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to date in your lane. You have to date women that will accept coffee. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. No, but they are. There are levels.
How are they beneath you?
No, but they are because they're levels.
Beneath her in particular.
Yes,
let me ask you.
She's not.
Let me ask this. Let me say what I'm saying.
Everybody.
Let her say what.
Let me say what I'm saying. Let me say what I'm saying. Do you play sports?
Do I?
Do you play sports?
Or have you?
Have you?
Occasionally, yes.
What sport?
I ran track.
Okay.
And occasional basketball.
Okay. Is LeBron James a better basketball player than you?
Way better.
Way better, right? And you can accept that, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you accept that a woman is better than you and you need to date in your lane?
That's cool.
All right, so then what are we talking about?
What we're talking about is you talk down on coffee dates. There's nothing wrong with a coffee date.
Listen, you can call it talking down, right? Because you feel a ways because your thing is a coffee date. So you're going to feel offended. It's like what we talked about earlier.
Offended. I'm not one of those dudes.
I know, but you're saying I'm talking down and all I'm telling you is what I will and won't accept. So if what I will and won't accept makes you feel like I'm talking down, that's a you problem because you should be so confident in that cup of coffee that you should say, I don't give a fuck that she don't want a cup of coffee because I could find 100 women that find coffee. So it's an insecurity problem. Yeah. It has nothing to do with me.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It has nothing to do with me. But you bring up a good point because men that only want to do coffee dates want to date women that are attractive and you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. That's why I use the analogy. You would not walk into a Bentley shop and tell the dealer, why are you talking down to me? Because I can't afford the Bentley. You should just give me the Bentley. I haven't even driven it yet. Yeah, I don't know you yet. I don't know what this car drives like yet. You should let me test drive it. Listen to me. Listen to me. No. You would not walk into a Bentley dealership and say, I don't know if I want to buy it yet. Let me take it. Let me hold it for a week. You would not say that because you know your place financially when it comes to material things.
You know about
Listen to
Bentleys.
me. No.
You know that Bentley is better than Kia.
No. You know your place financially when it comes to material things. But it's like I said before, men want to force women to accept them at any level, and you cannot. You just can't. And here's the thing too, that something very important that men have to understand. When a woman is attractive, okay, this is simple. When a woman is attractive, she has options and choices. So here comes the guy. Hey, I don't know you yet. I'd like to take you for coffee. And when a woman is attractive, she's in a network.
Because I'm coming over
that's
here
how
like,
I see
hey,
them.
you want to go to this restaurant over here? That's going to cost us $500
Thank you.
for dinner?
Thank you.
Right.
That's a
Why you
listen,
spending
this panel,
$500 on the bitch you don't
listen,
know, though?
listen.
Because I'm eating too. Because I'm buying $200 steak.
This is
getting
why.
$200 steak.
But Clue, this is why you won't have a woman that looks like me on your arm, and Kari will. Life is simple. No, absolutely not. I guarantee you don't. I guarantee you don't.
You look good, but
I guarantee you don't.
Check it out, though.
I guarantee it. Like I guarantee it.
Yeah.
No. I guarantee you don't have a woman in your life right now that looks better than me. And I'm not even being arrogant, but I guarantee it because you're too. I guarantee it. Yes, let's put our money up. Let's put our money up.
I got my
phone.
Yes, show me the woman that looks better than me right now. Who's taking your dinner? No, do that. No, do it.
Ain't gonna do that.
No, do it. Do it.
Come on, Cletus.
Do it.
She's not on YouTube.
Come on, Cletus. Come on. Shit.
And you know what? And you know what's funny? After we go on that $500 date, a couple days later, we're going to have coffee.
Thank you. Thank you.
You live with your wallet.
No, I didn't leave with my wallet.
But a man is supposed to lead, okay, with the ability to be a provider and a protector. You do know that's what women look for, right? He's supposed to lead with his wallet.
DNA.
But the first date, he does not know you.
Oh God, you're not.
Why is he obligated to take you
on?
I'm going to the restaurant that I want to.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait, I gotta ask a question. I gotta ask a question real quick. What inspires her to get to know you, though?
Right.
What inspires her to get to know you? You're an interesting person.
Money.
No. Aside from money.
Aside from money. 50-50. I'm the one spending money. It's hundreds.
Okay, so what is interesting about you for her to get to know you?
I'm spending the money.
Oh, you don't have to be interested.
No, I don't.
Wow.
I'm spending the money.
Okay.
I don't have to be
okay.
Yeah, let's see that girl you talking about. Show us that picture.
Girl. You got
I really want to see her.
So you don't have to be interested. Because he's spending money. He doesn't have to be interested.
Billion.
On the same note,
he's spending. No. Them lattes are expensive now. Them lattes are kind of expensive now.
You know,
so that man don't got to be interested.
You just spent $40 at Starbucks.
Yo, I had to ask for cream, no cream, a few times because them shit to get pricey.
I'm just saying. Listen, there's just, again, this ties into what we said in the beginning. There are levels to this. Everybody has a lane. When you leave your lane, you crash into traffic that you should not have been in. Stay in your lane so you're not disappointed and set realistic goals. I don't run in circles where men ask me on coffee dates. I don't have to lower my standards for a guy who's afraid to spend his money. You're afraid to spend money. I'm not interested in men who are afraid to spend money. You're afraid.
No. Here's the thing. You're not listening to me.
Scared money don't make money. Sorry, it doesn't.
I don't know
and you wouldn't get to know me.
It doesn't matter.
But you wouldn't get to know me.
I do not know you.
It doesn't matter.
Once I know you,
Okay,
then
but
we,
men
we
with
can spend that $30 million.
okay,
But I don't know
but
you
men,
on the
but
first
men with
date.
30 million, but men with $30 million don't think like you. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do
Right.
that.
You will never.
And
You
then
will
where they
never
at?
get a high.
Where are all the men in your
do
life
that.
that spent
with that
the money
mindset.
first on
Don't
you?
do
Where are
that.
they at right now?
They're exactly where I
They're your
want them
husband?
to be.
They're
Who
not your
wants a
husband.
husband?
But what is, who the fuck
Why
wants
do you
a
assume that she wants a
husband?
husband? That's weird.
Who
Why
wants
do
a
you
What's the
assume
point of
husband?
doing this?
It's
What are we
weird.
doing?
That's
What are we
weird.
doing?
Who the fuck wants a
It's not
husband?
necessarily
You
not marriage.
you want to get married?
What are we doing?
Where's your wife? Where's your wife?
Everybody.
Where's the, no. If everybody should be married, where's your wife?
I'm not showing you her picture. I'm just not doing it.
Where's
She's
your
a
wife?
civilian.
Let me put your hands up. Let me see your wedding ring. Okay, now where's your wife? Let's see your picture. Let's see your dime.
She's a civilian.
Let's
She's
see.
not on
Let's see.
YouTube.
Let's
Not
see
on
the
YouTube. I
dime.
can't do
Let's
that.
see the dime that accepted that cup of coffee. Let's see the dime that looks
Why
better
you
than me
calling
that
me?
accepted
It
that
ain't
cup of
about me.
coffee.
It's not about me.
It is.
You know what's funny? What I said earlier.
You're defending
Oh,
it.
my
You're
goodness.
defending it. You're defending it. You're
It's
down on this floor. You are down on the coffee floor.
Oh my
Because
God,
let me
man.
tell you, you
What's
will
wrong with the coffee date,
never,
though?
ever get a
Honestly,
woman comfortable
wrong.
with
but
this
here's the
mindset.
But listen, this is what I was talking about earlier on Facebook, that men, even when they're married, they feel away because they settled for that woman. And if I would have offered, listen, you settled because you didn't have no choice.
Settle.
That was your lane. That was your lane.
That was your lane.
You're upset that a woman that looks like me wouldn't accept a coffee date. You settled,
I'm not upset.
sir.
I'm just
No, you
asking
settled.
questions.
You settled and she
I'm
settled
just
because
asking
you
questions.
had.
Upset. Why aren't these other guys upset, Jen?
Right.
I'm
Why
not
are the
upset.
other men saying, yeah, I would just take
Because
her
they
to dinner?
agree with you. I disagree.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm upset.
Okay,
Let's
but
disagree.
listen to me. I spoke about this earlier on Facebook. Your wife had limited options, and so did you. Y'all found each other and threw rings on it, and that's a great thing. But respect the lane that you're in, and respect what you settled for. There are different levels. There are levels to this thing.
Why can't people
You do not work.
Not
you do not
everybody's gonna
walk
accept
into
the same thing.
at all, and that's okay.
It's
But
okay.
it seems again, it's like people that are on lower levels, because there are levels. People that are on lower levels, it's like being mad at the rich or being mad at the people that have more privilege.
Right.
That's all this is.
That's all
That's
it is.
all it
Yep,
is.
It's the same exact thing. Because
It's
you
the
don't see
same
men of a
exact
certain
thing.
caliber getting what they want. Men who get what they want don't talk like this.
At all.
They don't even have this
Especially married men. You would think a married man would be like, hey, I got my queen. He's up here worried about why I want coffee and I don't know the guy yet.
I'm not worried. I'm just disagreeing, Jen.
Okay, you're weird.
I personally,
I am weird. I'm
I pretty
very
much
weird.
figure out which lane this person is in when I ask him out. If this person's in the coffee lane or the expensive restaurant lane or somewhere in between. I kind of judge that based on the conversation, you know? And very rarely would I be able to take a woman like Jen to coffee. In order to do that, she would have had to laugh at least about 10 of my jokes for like the last 30 minutes in order for us to go to coffee.
But here's
sounds like an interesting. You sound like an interesting person, brother.
No, but here's the thing, right? You have to. What I loathe the most, because the coffee is a symbol to me. It's not even the price of the coffee. It's not the price of the coffee, but it's a symbol to me of a motherfucker who wants to put in the very, very least. It's like the people that play the slot machines with a coin and be like, "Where's my $1 million? I want $1 million. I'm only putting in a coin, right?" They don't develop their personality. They don't develop their sense of humor. Because Kari's absolutely right. I've
date to get to know
I've
you.
been right. Listen, no, I'm not getting to know anybody that.
Not to give you a drink that's $5.
But you already,
that's
yeah,
not why he got the coffee date.
Yeah, but who's he? No one's ever invited me out for coffee, sir. Who's he?
I'm not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a coffee date.
I don't.
Yeah,
we don't know anything about that.
A woman on a coffee date.
I know, but you can't listen. You cannot. You cannot bring a Honda key, okay, to start a fucking Bentley. You do understand that, right? Like you understand that much, right? That's logic.
That's not a good analogy.
No, it's a perfect analogy. It's a perfect analogy.
Know that Bentleys are hot. They don't know
you and your cup of coffee.
They don't know you.
You aesthetically, I'm out of your league. Before I open my mouth,
I'm okay with you being out of my league.
I know, but listen. Before I open my mouth, before I open my mouth, if you and Kari were in a room, do you really think that you'd have a shot over Kari? Yes or no? You would look at him and say, I got a shot.
That he look like a Dominican drug dealer right now.
Like
there's a clear difference.
It's such a lack of self-awareness. It's such a lack of self-awareness. And listen, I'm happy for the average at best people who find each other. And that chick is like, take me for that coffee, baby. She got a little fupa gut. She's not the most attractive. Her wig be a little twisted. I'm glad that y'all find each other and holy matrimony and whatever. But you do not speak here. You don't speak here. You speak for your level.
For the coffee date bros, man.
I'll take women on coffee date.
He said the coffee. You shouldn't represent. Listen to everything Kevin. No, listen. Did you not hear everything Kevin Samuels just said?
I did.
So you don't care what he said. You didn't think it made sense. Because he said you shouldn't even be worried about women. You got married before you even got your money all the way up, so you don't have to worry about coffee dates. So you did the opposite of what Kevin said.
Jen,
I'm confused.
What was your name? I can't.
The
gentleman. Yeah, Clue. The one with the glasses.
Clue. Yeah, me or him?
You.
I'm Clue. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, man.
We lost No Saint. Did he even tell us he was leaving?
No, I don't think so.
He just dropped away.
You broke his heart because you didn't. I mean.
No Saint is married to a very beautiful woman.
You didn't respond correctly.
No Saint is married to a beautiful woman. I'm talking about No Saint, the other white guy.
I've got a theory
he's
about
our original colonizer.
Okay, him.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's the original colonizer.
He's our original colonizer.
No, he's married to a beautiful woman.
God bless the colonizers, man.
We love our,
George, what were you saying? Anyway,
I got a theory. I think what may be going on here. How old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
Me, 43.
43. Okay, well, that is kind of surprises me a little bit because
I'm surprised too. I thought you were older.
No,
really?
I thought he was younger. Jen, I thought he was younger. Like you and I, Jen, and Kari and Haran and Lily, we grew up in a generation where there was no such thing as taking a woman on a coffee date.
Absolutely.
It just was not. That was just.
If you took a woman to McDonald's, you were the laughing stock of the group.
So I'm wondering,
the men and the women will laugh at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and where I was going with this is like the younger generation, where it's like it's communicating on. They're doing a romance by chat and all that kind of stuff. I kind of thought that's where he was coming from. Basically, it's like, hey, he's playing his chips really conservatively, and he's gonna, maximize his opportunities and all that, but not realizing how the game actually works. And so that's all.
I don't have game, sir.
There was we're clear on that. I just want to say something real quick. One thing real quick.
I don't have game.
One thing real quick. One thing real quick. The gentleman who was here prior, forgot his name. What was his name? James, whatever.
James.
James. As this coffee date discourse, jumped off, he was one of the first ones who said, "But what if he asked the question, but what if she ghosts you?" And I've noticed that seems to be a recurring question and a recurring theme amongst a lot of these guys. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys feel as if they invest so much money, but they do so much, and this woman ghosts them. They feel as if, well, they'll be heavily embarrassed and probably traumatized over the situation. However, there are some men who just basically, if that does happen, you just charge it to the game and you keep it moving, because these things happen in life. Now, if you constantly go through life afraid, so you just put a little put a little nickel in and put a little quarter in, and you're afraid to really jump headfirst in, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. That's just the way, that's just the way life works. Now, I'm not here to tell you to not do it.
Right.
It really has no. It's really none of my business. But what I'm saying is that this is something that I've observed for the past about the past 2 or 3 years. A lot of guys are just afraid to really, jump into a situation, with a lot of, with a lot of money invested.
Hey,
well, I'm so glad I don't swim in that dating pool.
What Jay Cavassier said here. Meanwhile, the dude she's really feeling is hitting it for free.
See?
So let me.
Yes and no. Yes and
no.
no.
But let me say this. You got to charge that to the game. You're not that guy. Right there are people. You're not. And here's the thing. You're not that guy. There's some. Very.
No, the world is cruel. The world is cruel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
What'd you say? What'd you say,
It's a cold world. Dress warm. Cold world. Dress warm.
But here's the thing.
I like
everybody.
I like that saying, by the way.
Everybody has a different value. Men do it too. Men will have more love and respect and do more for the chick with the banging body and the big ass, and she treats him like shit, right? But then the goofy bitch or the one he marries, he doesn't even treat as well. So men do the same thing. Men do the same thing. Okay, the chick could be in the house, you know what I mean, washing his dirty underwear, and then a pretty chick would come and be like, no, I'm not doing all of that. He'd be like, okay. Men do the same thing. Men do the same thing that women do. It's not gender specific.
The world is not fair.
Yeah, I just think it's levels. I just think it's levels, and it's a thing of instead of people improving their level, they're lazy. So what they do is point the finger and say, you're looking down on us. No, you're not doing enough to pick yourself up. Don't got nothing to do with me. You're looking down on me because I can't afford a $300 steak. I'm not looking down on you. I'm just not fucking with you.
It's a good ass
$300 steak, but what makes you think on the first date that you're worth a $300 steak?
Well, I've already been out on $300 steak dates. It doesn't matter. But listen,
you're worth it.
Okay, but here's the thing. Someone who's beneath me, it doesn't matter what they think I'm worth. You do not count. Do you understand that?
I get you.
That's real.
I get you.
You gotta look at it like this. You gotta look at it like this.
A saltwater fish trying to
if
swim
she's
in
worth,
fresh water.
It's weird.
If she's worth being with you, she should be worth it. If she's worth sitting there with you,
but I don't. On the first date, I don't know who the hell she is.
Then you shouldn't be out with me.
Right.
True. Both.
See, but here's the thing too. Men of means. And I'm not even talking about 7-8 figures, right? I'm just talking about a man of means who's able to do whatever he wants with his money, who's not strapped for cash. I'll just say strapped for cash, right?
Disposable income,
right? Just
don't assume
a man that's doing well. Here's the thing: a man that I loathe. When average at best guys talk about wealthy men like they know what it's like, I fucking loathe it.
They have no idea.
I loathe it.
I don't know what it's like
because they have because I fucking loathe it. You don't know that world.
Okay,
then
how about
that world? Okay,
instead of the word you don't know that world. You
instead
do
of the word
poor.
Instead of the word poor, how about we use the word cheap? How about we use the word cheap?
I don't know that world.
If you were wealthy, you'd be laughing at this conversation. You would never bring that up. You would never try to justify why a woman should have a cup of coffee. I know you're not wealthy. I know you're not wealthy. You do not know that world.
But I do know
that
world.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
Yes, I do.
So
I know that world.
A wealthy man. So let me teach you about wealthy men. A wealthy man has a plethora of options. So spending money on a woman is not a big deal to him because spending money is what he does. That's how he lives. That's how he eats. Those are the cars he drives. Those are the circles. No. That's how that's not how people.
Like that?
No, that's not how men become wealthy by not spending money. Then every broke man on the planet would have money.
The wealth world,
no, sir. No, sir. Anyway. A man of means, unless you want to tell us something today. You date rich men? Because if you do, then I'll digress. Okay.
I don't date any men.
You sure you don't date rich men? Because you sound like you don't date rich men.
I don't date any men.
Sure.
I've never dated a man in my life.
Okay, I don't know, because you're talking like you know more than me about dating rich men. If you date rich men, then I'll digress.
I do
okay, so men of means have a plethora of options. They eat a certain way, they drive certain cars, they run in certain circles. So taking a woman out to dinner is a drop in a bucket. Fuck it, because he eats at those restaurants anyway. And he's like, hey, I want company today. So that's how they move. They're not thinking, is she worth it? Because I don't want to spend $100 on this, and then she's gonna ghost me, and then I'm gonna be out $100 again. That's not how those men move. ¿Tú me entiendes?
There's
Like,
been
do you
times I've
understand
asked
that?
women out. I've asked women to eat dinner just because I didn't want to go eat dinner by myself.
Hello.
It's that simple. That's their world.
It is that simple.
They will never have this conversation ever.
Never.
And sometimes if you play your cards right, they'll ask you out for dinner.
I've been asked out before. Yeah.
No, not for a coffee date. No, a woman actually takes you out to a very an amazing restaurant on the first date.
I've done some things. I've done some
The
things.
same guy that told us you got a dime but won't show
But you know what?
So, right
you know what I
now,
like?
you had no evidence.
He's not.
I like
He's
this.
not.
What did you say, Lily? What did you say, Lily?
I said, look, he's the same guy that told us that he dating a dime but won't show us. So right now you're batting with no evidence.
She's not on YouTube. I can't do that. She's a civilian. She's not. It's a privacy thing.
Okay.
Well, shit. With a privacy thing, anybody could be anything, huh, Clue?
Right.
True.
Anybody could be anything.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody could be anything. She could be Pam Grier with the privacy.
Right.
Exactly.
I would. I mean, I didn't say
this
that.
right here.
Go ahead.
This right here. Jay Cavassier. I mean, the name alone. But anyway, he says, yeah, and how is all this esoteric knowledge working out for everyone so far? Here's the thing. It depends what you're looking for out of life. It depends what you're looking for when you're in the company of the opposite sex. It depends how it's working out for you. Not exactly. Everybody here,
right,
I know,
exactly
is
what I want out of life.
well-rounded, good, happy. When I want the company of a man, I could easily pick up the phone and be like, hey, what's up? Are you in town? Blah, blah. Let's do that. Do this. You know what I mean? Right. So, I mean, so that's how
a woman.
Right. So that's how it's working out for everybody. Now, if you're one of those people that's pining to find a wife and you're mad that you can't find a wife that accepts a cup of coffee, or the other way around, if you're a woman.
Get off the coffee.
No, I'm not going to get off the coffee. We're on the coffee.
Get off the coffee, Jen.
Or if there's a woman.
No. Let's leave the coffee alone.
And the other way around, if there's a woman, right, that wants a certain type of man. Let's say there's a woman, going back to Kevin Samuels. Let's say there's a woman who's 5'3". Bye, George. Let's say there's a woman who's 5'3", 250 pounds, right?
Damn.
Right? Can she date a wealthy man? Can she date a wealthy man? Or is the wealthy man?
Can she date you?
She could date him for sure.
No, I don't do
I want to
fat.
hear from him.
No.
Oh, but hold on. No, you're not going to look down on her.
You don't know her.
On this woman. Why are you looking down on this woman?
She fat.
Why are you looking down on her?
I don't do fat.
But you have
You
don't have.
Why you don't do fat?
So you have standards.
Now what if most of the fat is in her booty and titties? What if she got a slim waist?
That's still fat, sir.
You have a preference?
Well, wait a minute. What if she has potential? What if she has potential?
Pick her up. I gotta make
love potential to lose weight.
Yeah, well, she has the potential to lose weight.
So I'll say this. I will say this. You see how you have a preference?
I do.
Right. I have a preference too. I don't do coffee dates. I don't have to.
I understand. I get it. I understand.
Right. I don't have to. Now, people that have to, they have to. I don't have to.
It's no problem. That's just the world.
That's fine. That's cool.
I don't have to. Now, have I gone out with guys that weren't wealthy? Absolutely. But they brought something else to the quality of life that I want to live. They brought something else. So if you're not going to lead with your money, you better have something else. It's very simple. Women are simple.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
You have to lead with something else, but you scared Negroes. What if she ain't worth it? I spent $75.35.
That ain't scared.
Like I'm not.
That ain't
No.
scared. That's a business decision.
No, it's
I
not
don't
a business.
know you, woman.
Right.
Why
then
would I
you're
spend
then
money
you're
on a woman I don't
right.
know?
Then you should not be
You're in the wrong
dating, sir.
Sound cheap.
You're in the wrong business.
It ain't
You should
cheap.
not. You should
It
not
ain't
be
cheap.
dating. Just like Kevin Samuel said, leave women alone and get your chips up.
It
Leave
ain't
women
cheap.
alone
It's not,
and get your chips
listen.
up.
Jen, listen. It's not because he doesn't have the money.
It is because he doesn't have the money.
No.
Yes, it is.
You think it's
It
not.
is.
Yes, it is.
I know it's not.
Yes,
Then what
it
is it? Then what is it? Then what
He
is it?
values the money that he makes.
No.
He's got the money
No.
to take you
Not
on
now.
the. He
So
has
he's
the
cheap.
money to take you on a
No.
6-star
Then what is the problem?
Two women who
No,
date
no.
does not
you're
know
listening
you.
to two women who date wealthy men, and we're trying to share with you what it's like when you're telling us. That's like a white person telling us about the black experience. You're
But that's
telling
why
us-
that's why I'm
telling
asking him,
you
does he date
in the
rich
point of view
men? That's
of
the
the
only way he
man.
can know.
The point of view of the man is like,
A
The
broke
point
man
of view
tells
of a
us-
man
would I
who's
spend it
not
on you?
the point of
I
view
don't
of
know
a
you.
man.
A broke
You are
man.
not
You're telling us from
well
your
off.
position.
Thank you.
Your bandwidth
Thank
does
you.
not extend that far, so you can't share that experience.
That doesn't mean.
But you can
That
listen.
doesn't mean the
You
man
can
is broke
listen.
though. It doesn't mean the man is
He
broke.
It might
cannot
not mean
afford. He
it.
can't
It might
afford.
not mean
Don't
he's
have
broke,
this
but he's acting
conversation,
broke.
Clue. We don't. Wealthy men don't have these conversations, Clue. I've never heard.
I mean,
this
that's fine,
conversation
but
coming out of
that's
a
not
wealthy
every
man's mouth.
wealthy
If
man.
he's
They
not
don't think
broke,
like
he's
that.
acting broke. That's what it. That's how it looks.
Which is still broke. That's a broke mentality.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
We're gonna
no, but
agree
I'm
to
telling you though.
disagree.
Yeah, but them dudes are like, I'm glad I'm not in those circles. Good luck to them. That's all I can
I
say.
know.
Good luck to them. Because there's
I'm
a
glad I
lot
never
of
dated that fool.
yeah, there's a lot of settling that goes on with human beings, and what happens when you set. And this is a general statement. Like what happens with human beings when they settle, they just see
Resentment.
everybody. Yeah,
Resentment.
they see and they have resentment at everybody else who's out here fucking living and looking good and spending money on dates and living and laughing. And they settle because they like, I got to get that ring on my finger. All right, you'll do. And then they get married and they're seething and watching everybody else be beautiful and work out and have fun and laugh and go out. No matter what the date is, to be quite honest, no matter what the date is, they like, I got a ring on my finger. I guess it's me and her forever.
That face.
Because that's how married people behave. That's how married people behave.
I
I'm
got
like,
a ring on my finger.
good luck to y'all. Salute.
So let me actually
know.
ask you this: if you go out and like you and some friends are out and y'all are buying rounds and somebody brings a girl with them and it's time for you to pay for the round, do you say, wait, I can't buy her a drink because I don't know her?
Why would you be out with that amount of people with the girl you don't know? That's stupid.
What?
Oh my God, he's weird.
Yeah.
I would bring a girl. I would bring a woman I just met to a function that would be something like that. Like it would be like a first, second date type of thing. I would bring somebody like that.
You snitching on
This is a
yourself
woman.
big time because
This
you
is a
have
woman
no
you don't
idea.
know, and you're bringing her around all these other people.
Wow.
Why would you do that?
That happens. That happens.
This happens. We're sharing with you what happens.
Clue, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Born and raised in Texas?
Yep. Dallas, Texas. Yep.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Really?
Why you looking at it like that?
Because you
Nothing
sound
wrong with Dallas, Texas.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Dallas, but you sound like you from the sticks. You don't sound like you from Dallas. You sound
Dallas
like you
is the
sound from this.
You know what?
Oak
And
Cliff is.
like what Sir
That's for
Captain
sure.
Chaos over here says in the chat, I'm either gonna spend the money on something frivolous like weed, some alcohol, something stupid, something excess, you know. I'm already blowing money on some other shit, you know.
Exactly. Because you got it. You're gonna blow money on the things that you want to blow money on. And really, when you go on a date, it's about the experience. It's about the company. It's about the conversation.
Yeah.
It's like going to an amusement park, right? You're not going to take the amusement park home with you. You're going to have that experience, and you're going to leave it there. Now, if something comes from it, that's a bonus.
Date. Not just
That's
any
what I'm
date.
talking
The
about.
first date.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men in the chat,
The men in the chat,
let me explain something to you. Let me put y'all on to some game. Okay.
I don't do game.
As a
I have a
man,
terrible game,
as a
by the way.
man, I am not shocked. A man in
There
the,
you go.
We
in the
get
chat,
it.
Don't you
We
love
know. You
chat,
definitely
I
know us.
understand this.
We get
Sometimes sometimes you're gonna be the dude hitting for free. Sometimes you're the guy paying. That's just the way this shit works, man.
Yeah.
That's just the way the game works.
What did
If
you
you-
what date did you take your wife on?
What date?
Her first date. Yeah, her first date. Where'd you take her? Coffee? You
It
forgot?
wasn't coffee, but it was Embassy Suites.
What is that? What is that?
The hotel,
Sound-
Embassy
sound like
Suites,
a
owned by the
hotel.
Hilton.
That's where you took her on a date?
You took your wife to a hotel?
First date?
She let you
But
hit
wasn't
the
my-
first date?
She wasn't my wife then. She was somebody I was
first date.
interested in.
Okay,
First
but
date?
what
First
did you
date,
do
somebody I
at
was interested in.
what did you do at
So
the
y'all went to
suite?
the
She let
hotel
you
and
smash?
smashed on the first date?
No. I took her to the restaurant in
There's
the
a
Embassy
restaurant
Suites.
in the Embassy Suite.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't you
Wait,
take
so
her
you
for
took us to a
coffee?
goddamn restaurant? Why you ain't
Take
taking
some damn coffee.
Why you
this
didn't take her
motherfucker
for
over here
coffee?
arguing about coffee and took it to the Embassy Suite
God.
restaurant?
Yeah, no, why did you take her to a
seriously,
restaurant?
seriously,
And you
why did you
didn't
take
even
her to
know
a
her?
restaurant? And you didn't know her. You was trying to get to know her. Why didn't you take her for coffee?
Did you think she was worth it?
God
Did you think she
damn
was
it.
worth the dust? Did you think she was worth the gamble?
This is not making sense.
No,
The
honestly
contradictions, the
asking you.
confusions.
You said, why should you spend X amount of money on a particular woman that you don't know? And you just said that you took your wife
But
on the
Embassy
first
Suites is
date
not
to a
that much
restaurant.
more expensive than a coffee, than a Starbucks.
Oh, wow. Like, how
Stop
much
the
is it?
cap.
It's not upscale. It's just a 3-star hotel.
But it's a
So
restaurant
Applebee's
and
is
it's not a
okay?
cup of coffee.
Applebee's is okay for a first date. Yeah. It's okay.
Now I'm getting more of a visual of what his wife looks
Right,
like
me too.
as he
Oh,
speaks.
Yeah,
the
me
more
too.
the more he
Yep.
speaks, the more he
Yep.
speaks,
Yep.
the more I
Okay,
can
let's
see what
move
she
on
looks
to the
like.
next. Let's move on
Yep.
to the next topic.
Yep.
Yes,
I can
let's.
see it.
Yes, let's.
Make it more sense.
So Ruth's Chris is out of the question for a first date. And that's not even really expensive.
Say what?
Ruth's Chris, that's out of the question
Ruth
for a
Chris
first date.
for a first date. That's out of the question.
Red Lobster's out of the question?
Red Lobster ain't no upscale. Really?
Well, I mean,
Brinker
But then you
International
got
Company.
it's not.
Well, not
You said
next to a Brinker. Do you consider a Brinker
turn
International
yourself up.
Company?
You turn your nose up to Red Lobster, but you'll
Red
take a woman on
Lobster
a coffee
shit.
date?
You think seafood?
But
fuck out of
would you say, Haran? Say that again. Please say that again.
You turn your nose up to Red Lobster, but you'll take a
Red
woman on a
Lobster's
coffee
shit.
date.
Red Lobster
Can you
is
understand
a
what I'm
step
saying?
above
How you
Long
turn your
John
nose up to
Silver.
Red Lobster now? Do you see how you turned your nose up to Red Lobster? You. Cute.
Yeah, I
Cute.
did.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
the way
that's
we turn our
shit.
nose up to a coffee date. Same thing.
You got
Same
me.
thing.
You got me. You got me.
How long you been married, Clue? How long you been married?
7 years.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty new. You getting that 7-year
Pretty new.
itch, Clue?
No itch. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're a truck driver, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right. All right.
I know the joke coming. Bring the
What's that
joke
mean?
coming.
All right, I'm good,
Bring
man.
Now
them
we
on.
get
Bring them
it.
on. Bring them
We
on.
good.
No,
we
we good.
good.
We good. We good. We gonna let you.
We good,
Good,
Clue.
man.
7 families
I don't
over
know
in
no
Tennessee.
truck driver
Bring them on.
joke.
Bring,
Just a
bring the
truck driver
jokes
joke.
on.
We all
No, we
good,
good.
Clue.
We good.
We all good. Rob Beal said, "Don't we talk about Red Lobster?" The reason why
Red
I don't like
Lobster's
Red Lobster
shit.
is because like
Long
they
John
serve like
Silver's with a roof.
Frozen. It's
I-
like frozen seafood.
not only that,
Yeah.
but it seems like the seafood that you would throw back.
Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
It's the McDonald's of
We
seafood.
agree on that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's the
no.
McDonald's of seafood.
No, but it's not really.
We agree on that.
Let's just bring it back for full circle. It is not about the money. It is not about the money. It's about those lazy, scary ass sons of bitches who think they're entitled to have a beautiful woman across from them at a fucking Dunkin' Donuts. Okay.
And
That's
minimum
what it's
effort.
about. Because there are plenty times, you know what I mean? If you have the right personality, the right conversation, the right look, a woman will engage you before you even invite her out anywhere. But it's them fucking assholes that come with that one coin and drop it in $1 million slot machine and think that they deserve $1 million because they put in one little coin. And having no effort in anything is a huge turnoff. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your body, if you don't care about your body. I don't care if it's you don't care about your mind. I don't care if it's you care about it. Doesn't matter. Little effort is a turnoff across the board, especially when a woman is observing to see if a man is a good mate or not. It's just you putting little effort is gross across the board. And when a man says, well, I don't know you yet. So a man has to be big and bold and say, this is what the fuck we gonna do. And if I don't like you by the end of the date, sayonara, there's more women out there. Bye. That's how men are supposed to conduct themselves. That's how men are supposed to conduct themselves. They're risk takers. They are bosses. Okay. They are patriot. This is what we're going to do. This is the date. And if I don't like you, chick, there's a million other chicks out here. Bye. Great evening. Get home safe. Good night. That's how men operate.
And that's every primate. Every primate is going to be like that. The woman is going to be looking for the opposite, the male that is the strongest, the toughest, the one that she can breed with. And so if it's the one putting in the minimum effort, he's not getting it. Like, he's probably not even going to make it, to be honest with you. So we're nice as humans. We'll at least let you live.
Yeah. And there's so many like funny dates you could take women on that are not expensive, but they're fun and they're funny. Okay.
Yeah, you take it to Top Golf.
Yeah, there's so many things. There's so many things.
You could do a sip and pay.
I think the gun range is a perfect date.
There you go.
Yeah,
now you're speaking my language.
Especially in Texas, everybody can carry a gun
on the block.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language. See, if a man was to tell me, Jen, I know you're a gun girl. There's this new range that has
you
this
a gun girl?
Yes, I'm a gun girl.
I didn't know that.
All right.
Now,
See
Jen,
what happens when people communicate? See what happens when people communicate?
Now, what happens when he takes you to the range and then he's like, yeah, I got my gun, and then he pulls out like a little 380. And now y'all got to shoot like with a little 380.
That's fine. At least he thought about something different.
It's not the size of the gun, it's the shooter.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
But it's not about the money. It's the lack of effort that's a turnoff. It's not about the money. Because there are plenty of dates you could take a girl on that gonna be hella fun. Top golf, the gun range, you know what I mean? The bouncy house, you guys, laser tag, all kinds of shit. It's a lot of axe throwing.
Axe
throwing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. Amusement parks.
I had a girl try to take me rock climbing before.
Huh?
I said the woman tried to take me rock climbing before.
Did you go?
No, I was a little nervous. And then she also suggested we do archery.
Archery's good.
I was like, but our relationship ain't really like that. I don't know if I trust you like that yet for you to be around a bow and arrow.
My God.
He making jokes. Making jokes.
See, there was a guy.
I got you.
I actually years ago, like a while ago, I took a woman to, she was a gamer. So I took her to the arcade. You know what I mean? And we had a
stuff like that it's fun. Like
now, did you let her beat you?
What's up?
Did you let her beat you?
Absolutely fucking not.
No, you don't do that. You gotta whoop her ass.
Absolutely fucking not.
You gotta whoop her ass.
Absolutely fucking not.
Yes, you do.
Because she was the type of, she was extremely competitive. So if I let her beat me, she'd have known that. But either way, nah. I'm a very competitive person. I beat my daughter when we play games.
You're that guy. See, you're that guy. You're that guy.
Never let him win.
Oh my God. And there's even, I mean, you could be creative, guys. Like, stop being lazy. And honestly, I think that, there are men out here and women. There are men out here that really shouldn't be dating because they're not into women. They're not into women. They're not into talking to women and getting to know women. They don't really like the company of women. They like the idea of, if I do this action, I may get some pussy. Right. And that's not really a man.
About the pussy.
No, it's it's about the pussy.
There was a post that went around. You got to speak to the person too. You got to speak to the person, because there was a post that went around not too long ago about the dude that took the girl on a horse carriage ride, and she was like, "This shit ain't for me. I'm out of here." And you don't get a second chance.
Communication.
Like
Communication.
yeah. You should have known that. Hey, she don't want to be around no funky ass horses. You know?
Right. And who just meets somebody and then just whisk them away to a date? Usually you talk for a little while, you laugh about shit. You're like, what do you like? Blah, blah, blah. You get to know somebody. But if you out the gate with I mean, again, like Lily said, even in Animal Planet, like the men are peacocking for the women, the birds, the monkeys, the tigers, the men are peaking. They're peacocking for the women. Humans, I don't know if I know you or not. In the animal kingdom, your ass would get.
I thought we were better than animals. I mean,
No,
we got a
listen.
fucking space shuttle.
No, we're worse. We're worse. We're worse.
I mean, do bears have a space shuttle? Do lions have a space shuttle?
That's
we
it.
got a space shuttle. We're better.
We're just slightly more intelligent. Slightly.
That's
only
it.
Slightly.
Thank you.
Only slightly.
But they don't even litter. I mean, they don't even have
Right.
trash.
I'm like, no, definitely shit. Definitely not better. We just walk upright and we can make rockets, like you said. But there's, there's so many
and take
things.
people on coffee dates.
But there are men
got jokes.
There are men that should not be dating because they just interested in, can I get laid? Just some men are just not into women. They're not into women, and they should just.
Are they called gay?
No, I'm not talking about their. No, I'm not talking about their sexuality.
There are heterosexual men who do not like women. That's two different
There's
things.
a spectrum. There's actually a spectrum. No. Let me explain something to you. There's actually a spectrum.
They don't like
there's actually a spectrum when it comes to attraction.
Gotcha.
There's a spectrum when it comes to attraction. Because you can be physically attracted to a woman in terms of like on a primal level, but that doesn't mean that you like the idea of a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
There is
on an emotional level. On an emotional level.
People like to make everything monolithic, right? So they want to make heterosexual people one way when they're not that way, right? They want to make homosexual people one way, but they're not that way. Like I always say, humans are sexual. And that comes on many different spectrums, many different spectrums, right? And one of those things is that you have heterosexual people who like sex with the opposite sex, but they don't like them.
That makes sense.
I love this. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. Keith David, take her to a boxing gym, train her. This is what I'm talking about. This is what that is a dope date too. Like, listen, Jen, I know you work out. Let's go to this boxing gym. I'm gonna teach you some shit I know. And if he doesn't know, there's a trainer there that's gonna teach us both. Like, there's so many things that men can do, but it's the little effort because men are just looking to get laid. What is the quickest way from here to your pussy? I only got coffee for you. Can we speed? Can we speed this up?
Is there a term for that? Men that want to fuck women but don't actually like women?
There should be a fucking term because let me tell you, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, and I don't know. I haven't heard the term, but
and there are women who just want to fuck dudes but don't like men.
Yeah. It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
They're usually called married.
Yeah, but it's a lot of people.
They're usually called wives.
Waka.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like Jen said, most people, this is one thing I've learned. Most people love they like the idea of marriage, and they like the idea of a baby, or they like the idea of being a parent. But then they're like, oh shit, I just wanted the attention from, oh, look what the ring I got, or I just wanted to get dressed up in a beautiful white gown and have this experience. I wanted the attention of the wedding. I wanted the wedding gifts. And after all of that, you turn and you're like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Right.
You know?
I always say women want the ring. They forget it comes with a whole husband.
Yeah. That's why I chose not to have kids, because I really thought I wanted kids. And then when I sat down and really did some really soul searching, I realized I just wanted somebody to play dress up with. Like that was it. Like only thing I had was like the fun stuff in my head. I wasn't thinking about PTA meetings and band-aids and shit. Like I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. And if guys, whoever's still listening, just put, if you're interested, because a lot of you don't like women at all, right? You like fucking women, but you don't like women. So I'm talking to the guys that are still interested, right? In dating and courting and all of that. You can have an imagination. You have to understand that women, they have choices. So the guy that comes in the most confident is going to win every time. That's just how it is. Like, you'll be like, oh, I'm scared, so I just want to take on a coffee date. And then another guy would be like, listen,
Get off
there's a
the
restaurant
coffee
across
date.
that. No, I'm not
Goddamn.
going to get off the coffee date because it's important. Because it's a mentality. It's a mentality.
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
important. No, it's important. It's very, very important. So, you know, when a woman has options, that guy is just like in the animal kingdom. The silverback is going to win. The silverback is going to win because the silverback is like, I can defend you from 50 monkeys. That guy can only defend you from those two because they're smaller than him. Who are you going to go with? Right? The primate's going to be like, well, I want the silverback because I want the full protection. Women are the same way. Women are the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Women are, as long as he's not a fucking recluse in other departments, because like Kevin Samuel said, some dudes are too all over the place. And it's like, what are my instructions? What are my instructions?
See, but he lives in Texas. He lives in Texas where size doesn't matter because everybody has a gun.
That is true. Nevada
Jay,
too.
were you ever able to interview or talk to Kev?
No, when I started learning about Kevin, like then he was dead. Like when I really started looking into him, but a lot of people hit me like, you need to talk to Kevin. Like you need to do that. And I was like, who the fuck is this Kevin guy they keep talking about? Who the fuck is this Kevin guy? And then I started looking at his videos. I was like, and I like that he was like, he shot straight from the hip, but I'm a fan of people with that personality, period. Like people hate Candace Owens. I like her
love
delivery.
Candace Owens. That's my girl.
I like her delivery. Even when she says the most horrible things, I know what she's doing. She's entertaining. Yeah. But I like people like that. I like people like that. I'm sorry.
Because I don't agree with this whole thing against Steven Crowder. But other than that, I like Candace.
Who's Steven Crowder?
I think the gentleman, was that the guy on the subway? Now. On the subway?
No, that wasn't his name.
No.
You said Candace Owens. Candace Owens and Steven Crowder. That whole controversy.
Who's Steven Crowder?
You don't know anything about that?
No, who's Steven Crowder?
Oh my God!
Is this the name of the gentleman? Is this the name of the gentleman who killed the homeless person?
No,
that's what I'm asking.
No. Candace is in the news these days, because of exposing Steven Crowder and his relationship, his divorce with his wife. You don't know anything about that?
Wow. I don't even know I don't even know who Steven Crowder is or what he does or why we would be interested in Steven Crowder.
Right. Who is that?
You brought up
okay. Clue. This is the thing.
I didn't say I beat off to Candace Owens. I don't watch everything everybody does. So if you have some information, share it. I don't. Right. I'm not watching her. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck it. I'm not an avid, you know what I mean, Candace fan. I've watched her. I like her commentary. What about Steven Crowder? Educate us, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna find the link here.
Because all I'm hearing is that he got a divorce, and I'm like, and the T is
okay. So all right. Thank you, Vegaverse. Thank you, Vegaverse. Vegaverse says no. Steven Crowder is the Republican YouTube guy that's getting a divorce, and he's abusive.
Okay, there we go.
An American Canadian political commentator.
And Candace Owens got into that controversy. She inserted herself into their divorce drama. That's the big news now.
Well, she's consistent. She's on brand.
Yeah, yep. I think her saying that the man that was Randy Neely that was murdered on the subway, I think her saying she had no sympathy for him was even worse than some Steven Crowder being an asshole.
Yeah, that was very
that was way worse.
When did that happen? Because I didn't hear that. When did that happen? About this guy Randy?
About a couple of days ago. Yeah. What about 4 days ago?
So that happened after Steven Crowder. Okay.
And that's why I don't really fuck with Candace Owens, because she has way
Jordan
more
Neely.
shit
I'm
that
sorry.
I don't agree with that she says.
Jordan Neely. I'm sorry. Jordan Neely. I'm like, shit, for someone who was all up in the Steven Crowder, you couldn't even explain it.
I thought y'all knew that was a big story.
No, but the thing is, this is the thing about
Jen on the block covered that shit.
On the
No,
block
we
with
didn't
Jen.
cover it.
On the block with
On
Jen.
the block with Jen. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect the brand.
Thank
On
you.
the block with Jen. Go ahead.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, somebody said must have been popping in the Fox Newsverse.
Yeah, because I
No, it's popping everywhere.
Well,
Never
it's on your
heard of
algorithm.
that.
It's not on now.
He started
It's
his
just on your
career on
algorithm.
Fox News. He did start his career on Fox News, according to Google.
There
Type
it is.
in Candace Owens versus Steven Crowder. You're gonna get a lot of videos.
But I
Type it
don't,
in.
I honestly don't
believe
really
you, but
much.
it's just not on our algorithm. That's all. That's all we're saying.
Yeah,
We
and
believe
I don't
you.
care
It just
about.
doesn't
I don't
hit
care
our
about a.
algorithm.
I really don't care about a man who's getting divorced who was abusive to his wife. Like, I mean,
He
why is
wasn't
that
abusive. That's what Candace said. And I
Okay.
disagree. He was not. There's no proof of him being abusive to Mrs. Crowder. Nope.
Okay.
There's no proof.
Okay. I mean, it's. I don't know. It's not that big a story because
That's the
if
only
you.
time I disagreed with Candace was that moment.
That's the
It's
only time.
That's the only time you disagreed with Candace.
Yep. Yep.
Holy
Yep.
fuck. Interesting.
Yeah. She was right. She was right about a lot of things.
You think she was right about George Floyd?
Hell yeah, she was right about that nigga who was died of
hard-ass
fentanyl
all the end of that.
overdose. That nigga.
You really running with that?
Yes.
Fentanyl overdose?
Fentanyl
really?
Floyd, yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, I see what we're
He
doing.
died of an overdose of fentanyl.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay, you
Yes,
remind me
he
of
did.
them. Oh,
I'm
you
about to get
remind me of
dropped
them
now.
guys. No, you're not about to get.
Yeah.
You remind me of that guy. You know the guy I'm talking about? There's a couple of them. There was one that wore a cowboy hat, and there's another one.
Oh, you
remind me
talking
of that
about the one that got
Sheriff
sued?
something. You talking about the sheriff
talking about the
something?
You talking about
the
the one that got sued?
Republican, the
Yeah,
fucking
oh.
he's like
You talking about
Steven
the black
from-
sheriff?
I think so.
Yeah, something Clark. Yeah.
Sheriff Clark.
Yeah.
Or Alex Jones?
No,
Like Alex Jones?
You
No,
remind me
no,
of
no,
them.
no.
You remind me of those guys.
No,
Sheriff
no, this
David
is
Clark.
my thoughts.
Sheriff David
My
Clark.
thoughts.
That's his name.
You said
On
David
May
Clark.
2020.
They're actually like they're
I
far right
thought this on
talking
May
points, which is
2020. I
nothing
didn't get
wrong.
my
like
thoughts from them. On May
Those are
2020.
far right
Yes,
talking points.
yes, David Clark.
Clark, that's what I said. Sheriff Clark. Yeah.
That's who you remind me of.
Shout out to Sheriff Clark. But Fentanyl Floyd, who y'all call St.
Fentanyl
George
Floyd.
Floyd, died of fentanyl overdose.
I
Not a
don't-
knee on the back of his fucking neck. Fentanyl
Wow.
overdose. Yeah, I said it. There's a lot
That's
of videos on my
interesting.
channel that say it. Yes.
So you don't think that the knee on his neck
Had nothing to
It
do
did
with
not
it.
had
kill him.
anything to do with it? Really?
It did not kill him. It was the fentanyl overdose. that
So
did
the
it.
lack of oxygen had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
No.
There was no lack of oxygen. The knee did not cut off his oxygen.
Wow.
It did not.
That's
See?
interesting.
I'm about to get dropped now.
So
I'm
so
gonna
wait,
get
so
dropped now for
No,
Why are
sure.
you
allowed
gonna
to
get
have your
job? You
point.
just
You're allowed
talking
to have your point of
shit.
view.
so
Because
so from
Nobody
your
You're
point
in
of
the
cares.
view,
right stream.
so you're saying
cares.
you watched,
knee,
did you watch
the
the
knee
body
on the
cam
neck
footage?
triggered the fentanyl to kill him.
Did you watch the body cam footage? The body
We
cam.
watched- we
not
watched-
the cell
yes,
phone
we watched-
footage that got
we
everybody
watched
in their
it.
feelings.
No, we watched it from all angles. We watched.
Did you watch the body cam?
How many times you speak English? Yes. I
I'm
said
speaking
yes.
English right now.
I said yes, Sheriff.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you see that he was saying he couldn't breathe before he even got into the back of the squad car?
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
the
if you're
I couldn't
okay, so
breathe
wait,
thing
let's
had
pause
nothing
right
to do
there.
with the knee on the
All
back
right,
of
cool,
his
cool,
neck.
cool.
That was just
cool.
his thing
Wait,
because
pause
he
right
was
there.
high.
Pause right there. Pause right there.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
if I see you and you say you can't breathe, and I'm like, okay, well, let's get you on over to the hospital, or I lay you
Put a knee on
down
your neck.
and sit my ass on your neck, okay? For how many minutes was it? Almost 10
8
minutes?
minutes and 40
He
something
said
seconds.
he couldn't
You don't
breathe
think-
before he got into
I know,
the
but
car.
I
So
understand
if I can't
that.
breathe, your solution is to help me stop breathing
no.
even more.
It's not that he couldn't breathe; it's that he said he couldn't breathe.
Right.
Yeah,
if
but
I say I
the-
can't
you didn't
breathe,
answer
your
the question.
solution is to stop me from breathing even more.
He didn't. The knee on the neck
Hold on,
doesn't
let me-
stop
let me-
you
let me-
from breathing.
Clue. Let me.
It
let me
doesn't.
No, clue.
It
Let me.
just
Let me.
doesn't.
Clue. If
Yes, ma'am.
if I encountered you, right, you, and you
Clue
say,
don't have a
"Oh, Lily,
clue.
I can't breathe," and then you say, "Lily, I can't breathe," and I put my knee on your neck, would you be like looking at me like, what the fuck you doing, bitch? Like, take me to the hospital.
Because 15 minutes earlier, you said you couldn't breathe and you were standing on your 2 feet upright like a regular man
do you
saying
think
you couldn't
that,
breathe.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that what they did to George Floyd, do you think it played a part in his death? Do you think it played a part?
No, I don't. Nope.
Okay. All right.
I think that Chauvin was wrongly convicted. Yep, I said it.
Okay. Why you
I
keep
believed
saying
it
I
then,
said?
I still believe
Listen,
it now.
wait a minute. This was funny because people run around YouTube making these statements, and I don't know if they're hoping for a conflict. We don't care what you say. You mean nothing. You're a
I'm
peon.
not hoping. I'm telling you what I thought.
Okay, so why are you saying, yeah, I
And
said
we
it?
respect
We're
that.
letting
Yeah,
you
I said it.
speak. Like we don't care what you
respect that.
say. You don't.
That's cool.
You don't
But
have
I'm
to be.
telling
You don't have to
that
defend it. Just say.
the
Just
knee
speak your
did not
point.
kill him. The knee didn't kill him.
Okay.
Okay. All
We
right.
heard you.
Are you religious?
I'm a Christian. Yes.
You believe it?
Yeah.
You believe like in Jesus and a sky daddy and all of that?
Yeah, I believe in Jesus and the Sky Daddy and all of that. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're an
Weird,
interesting
right?
one. Very.
I used to be
White
an atheist.
Jesus?
I used to be an atheist, but nah.
White Jesus?
I don't
No,
know or
there's
care
no
what
such
color
thing
he
as
is,
used
but
to. There's
Wait,
no
you
such
used
thing
to
as
be an
used to be an
somebody you don't know
atheist?
what he looked like?
There's no such thing
You
as
don't know
used
what
to
he looked
be an
like, but you
atheist.
worshiping him.
what?
He
One at
says
a time.
yeah.
Who? What? Go ahead.
You don't know
Lily.
what he looked
There's-
like, but you're worshiping him.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. It's
Oh.
called faith. Called faith.
There's no such thing as used to be an atheist if mainly your atheism was based on your scientific understanding. So what was your atheism based on? Was it based on trauma? Was it based on, I don't know, but what was it based on? Why were you an atheist?
I became an atheist because I was searching for an answer to a question that no one could answer. If that makes any sense.
What was
So
the
you were
question?
just curious.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So that's kind of not atheism.
Atheism
I don't see
is unbelief in any deity.
And it's based on most of the time it's based on the concept of, for instance, most atheists that I know, and I'm agnostic, most atheists that I know,
That's fine.
based on their understanding of the universe and so on and so forth, and how just science and the universe works, they have concluded that it is scientifically impossible, mathematically impossible, for there to be a deity or a concept of a
that's fine.
God in the universe. As an agnostic, I believe that the universe is far too vast, and there's also just a huge degree of dark matter that we have not explored. Essentially, we cannot come to a valid conclusion that there is indeed no God, because there's so much that we would have to basically, search through in order to come to that conclusion. Now, that in a sense is atheism and agnosticism. Now, you seem to be a person who was just searching for some shit.
So
and
this
you
is
became
interesting.
Christian.
This is interesting, Haran, and we got to do a topic on this. But so you think because there's dark matter, that means that you can't prove there isn't a God? Like there's,
No, I believe
there's dark matter,
I believe
so it's
the
like
inner
there
universe
has to be
is
something.
Prove a
I'm
negative.
just using that as an example, but the universe is way too huge. Me personally, I would need empirical evidence to say that, okay, without a shadow of a doubt, we combed whatever we have to comb.
Right, but
there's no God.
I understand
There
what you're
is
saying,
no God, or there is not a God.
I
There is a
understand
God, or there's not a God. Now that
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying in figuring that out, where does the concept of a God even comes into play? Because I do understand
You're an atheist, Jen?
yeah.
Okay.
I do understand. I do understand that the idea of we don't know what's out there because we only live on planet Earth. So I'm really cool with we don't know what the fuck is out there, if there's other planets and if there's other life or whatever. I just don't know how you connect that to the possibility that means that there could be a God or not be a God, when I feel like the whole deity thing is man-made anyway. So I'm like, I can wonder what's out there, if there's other life, how vast the planets are, how vast, you know what I mean, the darkness is. But attaching it to a possibility, well, that could mean that there's a God. We don't know. That's the part that doesn't compute with my mind.
Okay, well, we're already 3 hours in, and let's save that for the show.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, because that's a heavy topic. That's why I didn't want to, because I got a lot to
Let's
say. That's
save
one of
that
my
for the
favorite
show.
topics.
That is a valid point. We can discuss that. We can
This is an interesting topic, though.
We can go back and forth.
Yeah, because it's like, because I'm the same
higher power.
Right. No, we're definitely going to do it. I promise you. But that's my only point, where it's like, of course, it could be infinite. There could be 5,000 planets. We don't know.
Absolutely.
There could be humans that are much better. But my mind doesn't automatically attach it to, well, then maybe there's a God if there are 5,000. No, maybe there's other fucking living organisms. Maybe there's other aliens. Maybe that doesn't mean that a God was playing around with balls and throwing them into the galaxy.
I see Jen's point.
That's all. That's another point too. It's another
that's
point
my
too.
only point. And not only that, there's never been any scientific proof that there is a God. There's only a belief of it, because you see a river, so you're like, it's so beautiful, it must be from a deity. Maybe it's just from fucking glaciers fucking melted. It's a tree. Look, the tree helps us, breathe. Well, guess what? Hot water in a fucking bathtub creates mold. Is the hot water a God? Like, things are created in so many different ways because the conditions are right. They just happen to be right. If I put a tomato in a fucking refrigerator, it molds and turns dark. Am I a God? Maybe I'm a God because I left it in there for a week.
I took a round
you know
trip
what I mean?
to both worlds.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
That's how I'm able to
What kind of weed was it? What kind of weed was it?
And I'm able to understand the Christian side, because I started off as Christian, went atheist, and then came back to Christian. So I took a round trip.
I know we can't make it a whole topic tonight, but I'm just curious. What made you an atheist? Like, you were a believer in Jesus and all of that. So what made you an atheist? Like, what made you an atheist? Because atheist means I don't believe in God.
I started questioning things, questioning what I was taught in church. That's what made me an atheist. Nobody could answer those questions I had, so I became one.
It just sounds like you had a tiff with God or Jesus. Like you.
That's what I'm saying. He was just searching for some stuff.
What made you become to no longer be an atheist? What made you flip back? What questions? Because did your questions get answered?
That's a good question. What made me go back to Christian was I'm seeing right now what an atheist nation looks like, and I don't like it. This nation right now is atheist right now. And it's shit. Look at it. This godless nation we're living in right now, look at it. It's shit.
Actually, there were atheists in the room when the Constitution was signed. That's
cool. With the 18th century, but I'm talking about now, the 21st century.
Atheists had something to do with this godless country. So it's like, but they had something to do with it. That's what I'm saying. They had something to do with it.
Once God was removed, the country went to shit. Somebody tell me
the reason why God wasn't included was because there was atheists there that didn't believe in that.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm saying, like, just read a book.
Right.
I'm not challenging anybody's beliefs or non-beliefs. I'm just telling you my origin.
There were actually atheists in the room when the Constitution was being signed. This is not a belief. This is actual fact.
It was like, yo, we don't believe in God, so we ain't gonna sign this shit.
They all believed in enslaving niggas, so they was all on the same page. They was all on the same page.
The country went to shit.
What atheists took over though? The entire
good job taking over this country.
What are you talking about? All the government is prayed up, very prayed up. Very prayed up.
Oh no, not now.
No, they are.
No, they not.
Wait a minute. Is it because of the liberal agenda?
It's an atheist nation.
I have a question.
Is it because of the liberal agenda?
When's the last time you heard a politician mention God?
Okay, but
all the time. All the time.
I got a question. So I got a question, Clue. So if I mention God and I say I'm prayed up, and she mentions God and say she's prayed up, and he mentions God and say he's prayed up, and then she say that she's not, how do you measure who is enough, has enough Christian in them? Where's the levels? Like, is there levels to it? Is there, like, how do you measure that? How can any of us sit here and say that this person is a Christian and this person is not, and this person loves God and this person doesn't? It's a personal thing. So we can't say that. Just like we can't say that.
I was speaking on the government though.
I know, but
the government is prayed up though.
Right.
No, it's not.
And like Jen said,
yeah, it is.
But
today's
Jen,
government
they say,
in 2023,
there's like 4,000
Christian government.
Right? So then you can't say that the godless fucked it up. Then you have to say the hypocritical religious Christians fucked it up. Because they don't follow.
The Christians didn't fuck up anything in the last 3 years.
Who are the godless?
Y'all fucked up
in the last 3 years.
Did the Muslims? So the Muslims?
When the government shut things down, what did they shut down first? The church. When they opened things back up, what was the last thing they opened back up? The church. This
That's
is
not
the
the first thing they shut
They left a few mosques open.
I would say that
They left some mosques open.
The Democratic Party is an atheist organization.
Wow, because they opened up the stores.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Because
it's damn liberals.
It's not.
It's them damn liberals bringing in those gays and those trans and those motherfucking so on and so forth. So on and so forth.
The Democratic Party. So you tell me the Democratic Party is a Christian organization? Is that
wait a minute. Are you saying that the Democratic Party is an atheist? That's
exactly what the fuck I'm
saying. Did they say that? Is it in every like? How is it not? It's written. It's written somewhere. How is
it not?
Is this?
Tell me how it's not.
Is it written somewhere or is it not?
What have they done against atheism in the past 3 years?
What have Republicans done against atheism?
No. We're talking about the Democrats.
No, I'm saying, what has the Republicans done against atheism?
We're talking about the Democrats.
What has Christianity done for slavery?
I haven't seen either of them do anything against atheism. What's it there to do?
The argument
what is there to do?
The Democrats are
no. See, this is where. Hold on a second. This is the argument. This is the reason. This is one of the reasons why I swing. Wait. This is one of the reasons why I swing back. This is one of the reasons why I swing back. What the fuck are they going to tell the atheists to do? Believe in God? Like, what are they going to do?
I'm not trying to.
Else? Or else? Like, what is supposed to happen? Please explain to me. What is supposed to happen?
You're not listening to me.
Okay.
The argument is the past 3 years, this country has been an atheist nation. That's
what are
the
you
argument.
reading? What are you reading?
I'm not reading anything.
No, you are. You just turned your phone off.
Okay,
you just looked at your phone. You just looked at your phone. What are you reading?
My phone is over here. Come on. Hey, don't divert. Come on.
No, I'm not diverting. You just read something. You were literally reading something off a screen. The argument.
It's the only screen. I'm looking at you guys. Come on now.
Okay.
You guys. That's what I'm looking at. You. I'm looking at you. Okay, damn.
Can you please repeat what you just said? Please repeat what you just said.
I said in the past 3 years.
Okay.
This has been an atheist nation. The United States has been an atheist nation.
Okay, well, this is based on what?
The Democratic Party. This is also an atheist organization.
Where did you get that information
Where do you get this information?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Oh, so you have a suspicion and you have a belief?
No, I'm living it right now. I'm living.
No. Do you have concrete evidence?
Before 3 years ago, we were godly.
Do you have concrete evidence to say for the last 3 years?
We were not godly before.
Singing Christian hymns in the middle of the street.
What makes it atheist? What makes it atheist? What makes it atheist? Because I tell you what, when Christmas time comes around, there's gonna be some shows on TV talking about Christmas.
I don't really understand what he's talking about.
What do you think about what do you think about this statement here? The first clause in the Bill of Rights states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
Establishment clause, yes.
I ain't never seen a Muslim cartoon.
Yeah. I'm trying to. It's the attempt to separate church and state. That's what that's about.
Right. But you're saying they're just doing that now. People are godless now.
We were singing hymns 3 years ago in the middle of the street.
What was that?
I said, were we singing hymns in the middle of the street 3 years ago?
No, no. You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
But this is the same country as
years,
it was 3 years ago. It was shit then and shit now. I mean, 4 years ago, shit then, shit now. 10 years ago, shit then, shit now.
There's different types of shit now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Left shit,
the
white
next
shit,
subject,
left
Jen.
wing
Get
shit,
off
right
me.
shit.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Listen. Based on research, I'm gonna read something to you guys. About 3 in 10 U.S. adults are now religiously unaffiliated. Self-identified Christians make up 63% of U.S. population in 2001, down from 75% a decade ago. Still sounds like over half of you motherfuckers are still religious. So I'm trying to figure out. I just presented information that proves that still over half the country believes that there is a God and it's God up and prayed up, just like Jen is basically saying. They have some sort of affiliation. And you're telling me you get this feeling in your bones. You get this feeling in your bones that this is an atheist and godless America. And you're basically, and you're basic. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. So do you, at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. Do you have proof of this thing? Or is this just a suspicion? Or can you point me in a direction where I can probably find some proof? Okay, then there it is. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. There you go. Thank you.
It says here, only 7% of the world's population is atheist. And this was an interesting.
The government of America.
No.
They're all in the government of America.
Lily, it says
200.
Check this out, Lily. This was interesting because considering this country, check it out.
You're making fun of me.
Only 7% of the world's population is both atheist and agnostic. 200 million.
Those are the people that took the survey.
Listen, shush.
Okay.
200 million of those atheists are, guess where? China. But look
Chinese
virus. But look how strict they are with their shit. This is why this is interesting. Because they really strict about their shit. Here, everybody's all willy-nilly, but we don't have 200 million atheists. We have religious folk here.
Woo!
Prayed up.
Nope.
Prayed up.
Yes, sir.
Not anymore, Jen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We used to have
all the time.
We used to have religious folk here. Nope, not anymore. They're all
So how are you
gotta get
measuring
on
this?
Fox
How are you
News.
measuring this?
You know
With
what?
Fox News, he's measuring it with Fox News, Lily.
Okay.
I don't watch
Yeah,
Fox
we out
News.
too because
I don't
my
give a fuck about Fox News.
Yeah, we out too because my battery's
any
dying
news.
anyway. Let me thank you so much, Fahim Jackson, for the last super chat of the night. Fahim Jackson says he said that they closed the churches during the pandemic because of anti-God, or maybe because those Christian loving people were super spreaders. God couldn't shield his children from the Rona, huh?
That's funny.
Right.
That's
Why
funny.
couldn't he just shield? Look, the Jewish
Jack,
believe that they can get
funny.
shielded from the Rona, so they said we going to church. We going to the mosque because we know
But
our
I would
God
tell
got
you,
us.
in Virginia, this is funny about this pandemic in Virginia.
Wrap it up, Clue, because we got to get out of here. What's
Yeah,
up, Trevor Jackson TV? Good to see you, sir. Wrap it up because we got to go, buddy.
I was gonna say in Virginia when lockdowns first started, March 2020. There was this place I used to go get my liquor from. Because in Virginia there are no private liquor stores. The state owns all. They own all the liquor. It's called Virginia ABC. Yeah, the liquor store was open, but everything around it was closed due to COVID. I just think that was funny. I mean,
that is weird.
People buying liquor, they're not. That's not dangerous, but
Kevin gonna take us out.
Shopping.
Going to bed exhausted, but your money is coming in. You need to go into life overdrive. Overdrive on the self-improvement. 0 excuses. No women. 0. And then the highest levels of accountability. You need to confess too. You need to confess to your friends. I am a fuck up. Dude, I'm 35 years old and I'm still living life like a teenager. Woo! My wardrobe is like a teenager. My income is like a teenager. I date like I'm dating a teenager. Guys, matter of fact, if I lost the job I have right now, there's no way I'd be able to go out and get another job making this much money because I have no skills. I've been living life like a teenage boy. And I'm gonna tell you, I know dudes out there, good dudes. Men haven't worn a suit since high school. Don't own one. What's in your closet? Nothing. I'm like, how do you get to life? And it's not even just a matter of income. Some dudes actually make enough money to afford all these things, but they don't live a life like it. I'm like,
woo. So
Shout out to
basically,
St. Kevin.
Poor
basically,
mindset.
basically man up, level up, and grow the fuck up. And I love what he said. Even men with money act like big fucking kids, and that's why they're not at the next level that they could be at. They feel like they've arrived. Like, I got some money, so I've arrived, and they could have been 10 spaces in front of that, but they act like fucking kids, date like fucking kids, still running around with women, still dressing like little kids. I'm telling you, Kevin Samuels, after this research that I did, he was a shit. And again, I will say it is a shame. It is a shame that a bunch of assholes and incels and losers got together and only pushed, one freaking agenda, because he had a lot more to share. So I'm glad we did this stream tonight.
For Kevin.
R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for holding me down, chat. Thank you for bringing up that coffee shit clue.
Get off the coffee. I'm gonna ride with the coffee.
You know what? I'm gonna call you Coffee Clue from now on. Okay. I'm gonna call you
I love that name. I love it.
Coffee Clue. That's your new name. All right, guys. Good night. Love you all. For real, for real. Thank you for being up here. You guys all make the show great, even when I disagree with you. Thank you for holding me down, chat, and the super chats. Be here tomorrow for Block Talent Battle, 8 p.m. sharp.
Ooh,
we will have more
that sounds
talent.
like fun.
It is a lot of fun. We'll have some talent competing for $100 cash. If you are a musician and you want to promote your music, I will play your music, 10-minute intro. You got to hit me on the block with Jen at Gmail. We could talk about that. And I see you guys here tomorrow for Block Talent.
You should come up. You should come up too. That shit you talking about. That shit you talking about atheists. That's some funny ass shit. So you should show up to the talent battle.
I'm a music guy. I'll be there.
Oh, you are?
Right. Yeah, come back for sure. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern
music,
sharp.
not rap. Music.
Okay. Music.
We want to hear it for real. And that's real tea. We want to hear it. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern sharp.
I'll do it.
All right.
Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. And
yes, sir.
Shout out to the Godfather.
Good night, guys. If you're still here for any reason, please hit that like and subscribe for Mama. Okay, it's been a long day and a long week, but we're still here. We made it. Pull up tomorrow for a Black Talent Battle, and we'll see what this talent has for us tomorrow. Who's going to win that $100 cash prize? I really love you all. Thank you so much for rocking with me for 4 fucking hours, chat. Y'all are the best chat on YouTube. I keep saying that. You keep me laughing. All right, guys, good night. Be good to yourselves. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. You're welcome, Clue. We will see you next time. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys, we're out. Mama's tired. Mama's tired. All right, we're out of here, guys. Good night.